flames and fell in love. We burned the city down, down. Thought you learned your lesson. You won't be lonely if you fall in love over and over again and again.
I'm just a single Welcome everyone to the Meraki Major. Once again, we have the semi-finals on the console side of things. And today, the winners bracket, of course, will go straight to the winners side of things. We have two really good teams competing against one another, of course, Phoenix Esports, and of course, Team PYK4. Really excited to see what these teams bring to the table today. We've seen some really amazing plays throughout yesterday and throughout the entire tournament. We have honestly had the privilege of casting Team PYK4 before for our first time. Of course, seeing what Team Phoenix has to do and what they can bring forward. And of course, guys, from the side, they've honestly worked really hard to get to this point, and I can't wait to see the new strats that they will bring up and the level of competitiveness between the two teams. I am Player Plays, I am a caster and a partner streamer through Alley Dogs Gaming, and I am joined by my co-caster, Kudu, who is the owner of Vabi Network. I think, of course, Kudu, please take the floor once again and introduce the teams, and from here, bring up some interesting points like you always do.
Thanks so much, Pled. I really appreciate it. As Pled said, my name is Kudu. I'm from Viber Network, and if you're not sure what that is, well, then you better catch up. We got a great game day today between PYK4 and Team Phoenix. The fight for the final. We've been having some incredible games. Yesterday, we saw Theme Park for the first time. It was, absolutely great gameplay. We saw a lot of strats coming out from those teams. I'm sure we're going to see a similar amount of see a similar upset today. Do you think today's going to go kind of smoothly for us?
I mean, like you said, having an upset from both the console side of things and the PC side, I won't. Honestly, at this point, it's honestly anybody's game. I'm quite excited to see what both teams bring towards the table. But I think today's teams will be a lot closer, of course, making it to this point, being the semi-finals, working their way all the way through all the different teams, making a name for themselves as it is. Of course, both teams want to make it to the finals. Both teams want to win that cash money towards the end. Honestly, it's anybody's game at this point. I really don't want to choose any sides. Yes, we had two upsets yesterday, but the chance of having another upset, especially three times back to back, is really rare.
Yeah, that would be super rare. So what are we thinking for bans wise? I think yesterday on this map we saw a Jackal ban. We've seen Thatcher bans throughout this entire tournament, as well as a lot of Clash bans. Is there anything you're kind of expecting to see in this matchup?
Of course, being the map one, being the theme park chosen by Phoenix, of course it has a lot of rooms to work on different floors as well, where roamers have been really crucial throughout the entire tournament. Honestly, I think a Jackal will be a safe bet, especially all the different corridors, like you did state, Clash have been banned throughout. Honestly, I won't be surprised if we do see something similar because of all the different doorways that can be held by a Clash of a teammate not too far behind, right behind the player, using her as cover. Honestly, I think Jackal will be a safe bet, and once again, I think especially the important role that maybe even Maverick plays. Of course, having a Thatcher will be able to eliminate the possibility of needing a Maverick, but of course, being such a utility was how important Maverick can be, making his own little holes, throwing his own nades within, destroying, of course, the bandits and K charges. I think Kate will be definitely one of the players who will be banned on the defending side of things. Honestly, Kudi, I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to bring up on that note, interesting points that maybe I did state there. Anything would you like to add on?
Yeah, I think, you made some great points there. I think Maverick has a lot of utility, and we've seen him constantly played pretty much on every single map. He's really able to, deal with both Kaids and Bandits, and I guess even Mutes sometimes when they've been used on the walls. We saw someone try Mute's trick yesterday, actually, I believe, and it was on Theme Park as well, funny enough. Um, but it does look like the players are ready. It looks like the map is ready. So we should just get straight into this. Let's go and check out PYK4 versus Phoenix.
Well, it's a very interesting matchup. Of course, Team PYK4 and of course Phoenix Esports being two really highly respected teams within the community itself. Hopping straight into the start of the operator ban phase. Will our predictions be correct? I mean, we have seen some very interesting bans throughout the tournament. We have seen a Blackbeard being banned once or twice. Of course, still being a very important factor towards the console side of things. But actually, I'll be quite surprised to see anything else really compared to the Jackal. I think Jackal is a very important factor to get rid of straight off the bat. Because of course, like we did say, the roam has been very important, and yeah, we go heading straight into the first ban on attacking side of things. It will be the Thatcher. Going into the second one will be quite interesting. I think it will definitely be a Jackal. Like I said, it is very important to eliminate the fact that allowing of course, your roamers not to only distract the enemy, but try to get those early frags from there, allowing your, of course, your own team. Yeah, you're coming in as Jackal, so you once your anchors back on start to finish up what your Romans have started for you.
Wow, Plet, you're hitting the nail on the head here. You called both the Thatcher and the Jackal before. It's who do you think before it's up now?
It has to be a Cade. Thinking how interesting
Oh
it
my
is.
word, dude! Look at you, 3 for 3.
So for the fourth one, I am not gonna lie to you, I'm not entirely sure. But it'll be quite interesting exactly it'll be. Like I said, of course, those three being fairly important. At this stage, might as well choose Mute. If only. Taking out the Ella straight off the
Only.
bat. Being a very important Roman as well. Having an elements that can, of course, not only stun, but of course, if I can even say, can remove the, of course, the start and the aim of the player. Even being a natural threat, allowing them to pull back. Honestly, I don't know if could have anything else that you would like to add towards the Eleban. I think it's a very interesting choice. One definitely I was not expecting by any means.
You know, I think, I mean, the Ella ban is slightly surprising. If I had to assume, you probably find that that's a specific ban to some player that mains Ella. I think without the Jackal as well, they needed to try and eliminate the number of 3-speed operators that are, you know, extremely powerful. We saw that Ella shotty coming out yesterday on Organ a few times, and I think that the team's ready. I mean, especially in close quarters and with the amount of rooms in this map, and Ella could be super dangerous, you know, hiding in a lot of the shower rooms, especially trying to go there by lab or storage. It would be very difficult to push an Ella out of that area. But something I guess I'm hoping to see come out is a Ying. We saw a Ying being played yesterday on this map, and the teams are really able to utilize her utility extremely efficiently.
Once again, we have to turn down the master volume on this map. This map is very sensitive to sound. Of course, being an omnidirectional sound game, of course, many things are happening. Going straight up towards the second floor. Honestly, very interesting choice. Can't wait to see what will come out of this. We have seen how important this room is to hold. Of course, being a safe bet, already having a top ground control. Yes, of course, there are hatches connected to the roof of the building that the defenders cannot hold. Once again, we say, wow, you're using his deployable shield in a very important hallway, trying to prevent access straight away, maybe get crucial information, being protected by the Jaeger's ADS systems.
So we see a very typical lineup coming out from a Pico with the Nomad for a lot of the runouts and the jump outs, especially on this site. You know, there's a lot of runouts that come out of barrel. I'm sure we'll expect a Nomad air jab being placed somewhere along there. The Capitao is a super interesting pick. I'm excited to see if they try and go for a plant or if they're really just trying to push down onto the defending I guess sites, but it looks like they're going straight in here. Someone just immediately jumped on in. They're already pushing sites. Looks like the Ash is busy droning herself in. Super close into sight. There's a Jaeger down below in Arcade that I don't believe has been droned out. The Savannah has moved up into top of Arcade, and as I say that, Sweet takes out Clout and goes ahead and takes out Panna as well. Hypes fall. Nuno falls to Hypes. Shots coming out. Hypes falls to Ricky. Absolutely incredible gameplay here. We're only a minute 50 seconds into the round, and we're sitting in a 2v4 situation.
Right now, hopping straight into, like you did say, 2v4 situation, two players being fairly low on both sides. Already on side, you can see Electro trying to just deny access towards the bombs itself. Throwing an Ultrasoul, trying to get an early pick. There you go, Electro taking down Joystick, bringing back into a 3v2 situation. Just as I say that, Electro, of course, taking down one of the attacking players, bringing back to a 2v1 situation. Ricky and, of course, Kiko playing off one another. Swat gets hit with a Nomad jab, returning some shots, does get heavily tagged himself. Playing around sites, of course, being very difficult, having two sites cross one another, having so many rooms across, doing really well, using the different rooms to his advantage, does indeed take down Kiko. Ricky not too far behind, gets the trade, taking on Swak, and of course, winning the round for his team.
There was a lot of trades within the first 45 seconds of that round. It was absolutely incredible to see the communication between their team there. I think Pika moved on in extremely quickly, taking Phoenix a little bit by surprise. I think Phoenix was still kind of setting up, but the Ashe pushed in immediately, droned herself out. Habana immediately jumped through Arcade. They were able to pinch the Jaeger fairly quickly. And took it down to a 2v4, I think it was a 2v3 or 2v4 situation fairly quickly. Phoenix coming back a little bit to bring it to a close round. Yeah, again, great shots coming out from Pika.
And Suika, of course, being Ashe, who jumped straight into break room, playing super aggressive, going straight onto side, being bunked, spraying the player down within daycare, and of course taking down the wall. Ma was playing towards initiation room behind his of course deployable shield. Having his ADA system there was a very important factor, holding down that choke points, allowing the other three attackers from upper arcade to hop straight through and of course support the player really ready. Turned it hard on the 5v3 situation. Of course trades did happen shortly after that. Of course Team Phoenix of course ready, getting the trades back, bringing it back really close. Unfortunately could not just pull through towards the end there. Going to try it once again, this time ensure the break room does not get invaded so early on. And I think as well, of course, Harps being Jaeger before, being roaming down below, it was extremely important. Of course, getting those crucial, like a team in sound cues, getting the players around. He could have gone behind the three players on the arcade, maybe played a little bit slow and taken them down straight away. If anything, just taking down as many players as he can in order to allow his team to finish up what he couldn't.
See the rotates coming out here by Phoenix. They've taken over the whole of the top floor. I think after seeing that push from Pika, they really want to try and hold arcade side just a little bit longer before having to push back onto sides. I think it looks like they're practically set up 100% with Hypes just sitting in the corner on just listening for those sound cues. We see Clouds pinging the call, at least calling out that Ashe is opening up the windows, the same windows that she just jumped through last time without any repercussion.
Very interesting strat, trying this once again. Who knows, maybe catching it off. Kiko watching arcade stairs, cannot connect his shots, of course getting heavily tagged himself, but Joystick not too far behind, taking down Cloud and showing a great drone work between the two players, communicating from one another. Sweetcar of course faking a window, jumping through bottom of arcade entrance, going from there, taking down the player on the stairs, already being sandwiched in a difficult situation. Nuno, of course, taking out Electro, already in a 2v5 situation. Drone's not too far behind. If anything, it'll be quite difficult for the defender to decide initially to first shoot the drone by their feet. As they're busy doing that, will be pushed. Hannah taking out Nuno, who literally just got the previous kill. Of course, Joystick and Kiko already low HP themselves. Swak, of course, being a very important factor, bringing back the previous round to literally the last couple of HP of the attack inside.
Pika utilizing their drones a lot so far in this map, droning each other through rooms and getting those picks off. Great callouts coming out from them. They were really able to pick out that Jaeger very easily on arcade stairs. The Zofia missing her shots, but quickly calling it out to Sweet to get her from below. Plus, there was a drone there, droning in Sweet. So I was fairly impressed. I mean, that's three players focused in on one Roma. Jaeger had absolutely no chance. But we can see Ricky was kind of droning in Sweet really easily there. Sweet, they push in together. I mean, that's incredible teamwork, incredible communication that we're being, that we're watching here done by Pika. Pana trying to rotate, trying to catch the Zofia off guard. Has some great shots and down to Zofia as everyone pushes and tries to reload, pulls out the shotgun, takes out one before falling to Ricky.
Really well played by both sides, as you did see the attacking side having the RQ. Fall down control room hatch, already known to have two teammates within bunk, having that whole side secure, working their way through into the initiation, already having a player advantage, sandwiching one player in the initiation room, getting that player down. Of course, having a last player to roam in not too far behind. We are, of course, going into a rehost. One of the players did disconnect. And through that, it's actually extremely interesting how things are going. I'm really seeing how powerful Phoenix is holding us out. Yes, they haven't have any rounds to their name, but are playing really well. As you said, last playing at 1v3 situation, really downing one player. From there, finishing up another play, but having the last player right behind, couldn't really do much in the situation, really having a main gun without any ammo, using the shotgun as a secondary, really well played. I mean, just a thought as well, just trusting your information, playing off that, of course, that arcade machine, absorbing those bullets for you. From there, hopefully try to retreat to a situation where you can make it towards sides, take out the last couple of players, and then from there still to defuse. Honestly, kudos. I know it's still early stages within the game, but we've seen both high-level gameplay from both Team PYK and Phoenix. Of course, very aggressive plays from Team PYK, but really good coordination between the two, using drones to their full advantage. What would you recommend at this stage for Phoenix to do? Of course, playing really well, holding side to the last couple of players. Do you think at this stage maybe try to eliminate those drones still early on, maybe make use of a Mozzie and a Mute, or try something else?
So I think one thing that we can have a look at, I'm busy, like I have the round replaying here on my left screen, and I can see that most of the time, Phoenix are losing players that were alone, kind of holding a room alone. We see Pika, peaking with two players plus using a drone. We saw Wamai trying to hold a bomb site. They flashed out the left-hand side, and both Ricky and Sweet peak, or I guess Sweet peaked left door, Ricky peaked right door. Plus, they flashed and they had a drone in there. That's at that point, the Wamai has absolutely no chance. I think that Phoenix needs to try and perhaps play slightly closer together so that they can try and at least get some of those refrags that we have constantly been seeing by Pika.
I mean, very interesting choice. Buff Phoenix, of course, defending. Going back to the second floor, really do believe that their strats are, of course, there just to fix up the slight mistakes. Do you think at this point would they rather leave second floor, gain some confidence, get a few rounds to their name, still on the defending side, maybe go back to the first floor? Maybe stick to a different room on the second floor, maybe further away from that arcade side, of course the arcade window being an extremely important factor. And of course, if we go back to the break room, where we had Sweet not only jump in once without any even punishments, and even from there, going towards, faking it out, going back to the bottom of arcade, jumping to the window, catching off the roamer. So maybe going towards, maybe even going back to the Lord's throne room. From there, maybe even towards Armory, having a very secure spot. Of course, just from there, holding maintenance, of course, the barrel room itself, maybe do a fair better chance there.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten the same site now twice in a row, both rounds. They just weren't able to get into the driving seats. Pika really just driving both those rounds the way they wanted it to. It didn't ever look like Pika was in any distress. So I think from Phoenix side, a change of site might be super beneficial to them. Maybe perhaps trying slightly different strats, especially knowing that Pika are going to be super aggressive. You know that they're going to be, very close to their drones. We've seen the Ash now take out, I believe, 3 or 4 people. The Ash obviously being played by Sweet, taking 3 or 4 people out with the drone right in front of her. Following the drone straight into the room. At that point, the defender was too busy trying to shoot the drone, didn't realize that Ash was right behind us. So, I think Phoenix, I mean, I'm sure they're talking right now. They've realized that, that Peak is going to be playing super aggressive, and I'm sure they're going to try and adapt to that.
I mean, very interesting points. Maybe a cap can come into play to prevent that rushes. Of course, bar the Ash, like you did say, but quite interesting plays. I think, of course, Ash being a 3-speed, be able to follow the drone to full extend. Maybe even the possibility of maybe the defenders making use of shields, maybe even barbed wire, just to slow down their initial rush. Of course, they do have deployable shields, which of course will be very beneficial, only if, of course, the attacking side is pushing from where they want to, where they streamline them. Maybe from the defending side as well. As you can see, the roamer from both rounds couldn't really pull through, do exactly what they want. Unfortunately, being trapped on the first floor, on arcade stairs, being trapped from both above and below, could only have one option to fight it out. Maybe from there, if the Noodle will be trapped, really know that all players above, not ready to show exactly if there's play right down below. Maybe rotate all the way around through the corridors, go back to Dragon Stairs. From there, reunite to the teammates, maybe block off, barricade a few things and play off the team. Maybe have all 5 players commit to the site. Right now, we're just waiting for one more player to reconnect, and then from there we can hop straight back into it. But quite interesting to see, especially what a game that we have on our hands. Of course, still being Phoenix's map, they still have plenty of strats to come out. Team PK, of course, being super aggressive. Maybe they weren't expecting such aggressive play just yet. Still a lot of
Yeah.
time on the clock, especially seeing the players run onto sites. I think, if I'm not mistaken, could you please correct me? They never went less than anything than 2 minutes, really getting inside the building. Of course, still droning
Yeah.
out, working with the drones. Instead of just sending the drones in first from there, hopefully the information is still correct later on in the round.
Yeah, I think, we were calling kills coming out within a minute 55 seconds of the round, or left. So, very, very fast playing here, an aggressive style taken by Pika during this matchup. Um, I think, I know we're only 2 rounds in, Plet, but is there any names that you've seen so far that, you just know they're having a good day?
Honestly, I think the first name should be brought up, of course, Sweet. Yes, been super high risk, high reward gameplay, but at this stage it has been beneficial both times around. I think really
Mhm.
smart, of course, faking that window of in break room, which he literally just went straight through, got onto side, got a few kills, probably allowing his teammates to push through. Second time around, being round 2, he did the same thing. Instead of going through, he went all the way to the bottom. From there, go
Yeah.
towards that arcade entrance, like we did say before. But I mean, I'm not too sure exactly if they knew that the one roamer was there initially. Of course, shots were being traded, but being in that situation, being right at the bottom, ready having a window open, being there to support his teammates, yes, could have been taken down himself, but it did, of course, work. Being, of course, of arcade stairs, you do see straight up to the second floor, and first, being stuck in such an angle, you know where to run. Honestly, be stuck between a wall and a hard place, and then from there was taken down. Being in a 5v4 situation so early on, of course, having a player disconnect. But for 3, that's such a major advantage. Having a player advantage, especially to see how they do play together off one another, I think it's definitely is crucial. Just how much the last defenders we have been playing more or less by themselves on the sides. Maybe not this time around, we'll see them stick together a little bit more.
Yeah, I think, it'll be fairly interesting to see what this break does to Phoenix. I'm sure they're trying to figure out exactly what they've been doing wrong these first 2 rounds. This being their map, I'm sure they weren't expecting to be 2-0 down at this stage. I'm fairly excited to see what happens when we get back, whether they change sites, whether we see different operators being brought on to the board. I think, yeah, I think this is going to be a great matchup. And the map after this being Villa, yeah, I think we're just going to see strat heavy days for these two teams.
I mean, of course, being Villa being one of those textbook maps go to. Very interesting choice. Like, we do really see the Romans coming out. Unfortunately, at this stage, compared to the rest of the tournament, the Romans have not really been doing as much as we would like them to. Honestly, between yesterday's game on the PC side, we had 2 Romans, of course, being Fish and Fish. We honestly will make those initial plays, being super aggressive. That, of course, the opposing team could never counter. Maybe we can expect something the same. Maybe, if anything, do something quite wild. Of course, being on Team PYK, we've seen the defending side hold very bizarre angles, if I can word it like that, holding different rooms that normally wouldn't. Honestly, leaving only 1 or 2 players on sites, and then from there playing in the other rooms around it. I mean, like, if we do go back to the second floor, we'll definitely see the different rooms surrounding that. So watching the different corridors. From there, maybe make use of the deployable shields as they have done. Get rid of those drones and maybe almost fake the opposition into thinking that they're still on site, and then from there pinning them down so early on within those rounds.
Yeah, I think that's some really good points there. And I think seeing yesterday's matchup between Memento Mori and ATK, we saw a very aggressive game style coming out from Memento Mori, and I'm sure a lot of teams saw that aggressive game style and were like, you know what, that works. We don't have to, be scared about pushing. We can shoot well. Our mechanical skills are up there. So if we drone it out, we communicate well. We can do these aggressive pushes and capitalize on them, and we've seen it work out for Sweet now. 2 rounds in a row. He hasn't been punished for that over aggressiveness, and I think it's all down to just the communication between him and his teammates.
Of course, feeling still far from out of course, having at that stage, being 2 rounds down, having very good players, of course, been a already feared organization within the console side of things. Very interesting to see how they're going to make use of this time, like you did say before. I really do believe it's an important factor for both sides. Of course, it's not really something that you want having a player disconnect, but it's honestly making use of every little second to your advantage. Just to discuss, yes, we maybe did this wrong. We did allow them too many space. maybe just having too many opportunities even. And through that, maybe we should punish them a little bit more. If they do go through, maybe leave your position, help me out with this player. If anything, if I get taken down, you take my position. But of course, going towards map 3, if it of course does make it at a point, will be Consulates. Very interesting map. We have seen it be played before. Of course, once again, I really do believe it's a Roma heavy map. Of course, the Jack will come into play, of course, eliminating that anti-Roma possibility. Of course, there's still different aromas, anti-Romas such as Nomad and Gridlock. We saw a beautiful Gridlock play within Consulate as well, where they isolated a player within the stairs and then from there peeking them off.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we could get all the way to Consulate. So we're actually going to jump straight into the map here. Phoenix down one player. Should be a rough round if they have to play.
So as you guys can see, of course, one player still has not rejoined back. They have reached a match time, of course, to re-host, and at this stage, they can either forfeit some rounds, but of course, they're going to play it through, of course, being really skillful until this point. Until the player does get back, they must just hold their own. We've seen some amazing plays, amazing clutches from the defending side, even from the attacking throughout the tournament. We've seen some amazing 2v4 sick plays, amazing 1v4 sick plays. We have seen a defending side, of course, taking down a player advantage. From there, bringing them back down. We see Ka going from Ash with the 6th pick towards, if I'm not mistaken, a Barner at this stage. Still busy considering, especially having a player advantage so early on. Unfortunately, is a massive blow towards Phoenix. There are things out there of their control. Of course, being internet, maybe even electricity. Unfortunately, the infrastructure in South Africa is very debatable. But right now, heading straight into it, players are of course still loading in. Can we see something interesting? This time going around towards Armory and the Throne Room, which we did suggest maybe leaving second floor until you can get the initial rounds, maybe build some confidence up, and then from there play off of one another.
Yeah, super interesting to see the change up in sight here. We're also seeing a change up in the operators. This is the first time we're seeing a vigil being brought out by Swak. It'll be kind of interesting to see how they go about this defense. If they're going to, I mean, obviously, I think Swak is going to roam, but you know, I'm wondering if the Jaeger is going to sit off sites, or if the rest of the team is really just going to try and hold it down as long as possible, trying to, you know, kind of waste time so that their teammates can get back.
I mean, of course, being within Throne Room and Armory top level of control is vital. We've seen so many amazing players open up top of the floor, bouncing off nades, shooting through down, getting the key initial picks, maybe even gathering information. That all comes down to how we played. Of course, this time around for the defending side, we do have a bandit, being a player down, and a mute. Hopefully through this, they'll be able to eliminate as many hard breaches they can. Of course, on the opposing side, we do have a Thomas and a Abana. You usually don't see both at hand. We usually do see maybe even a Maverick and one or the other. Quite interesting. We do see Swak play an arcade window where they have been placed before, waiting for the initial player to open up the window. Is droned out. Of course, from Cafe's side, very interesting. 30 got Rick as well having his ability, if of course Vigil pops it off, if there was a pulse not too far behind, of course with his heartbeat sensor he will be detected. Very interesting to see any utilities by the IQ if they can eliminate it so early on. Kiko playing as Nomad did identify Swak, who was by arcade window, who did retreat further down. Once again, Kyle taking full control of the first level, playing around with teammates and droning information, knowing that he has rotated there before. Maybe he won't be on stairs once again, but he should go all the way around. Ready, well played. As you can see, most of the attackers are already in, playing off one another, being right above. As you can see, Cloud, being the Jaeger, currently in a very difficult spot, being droned out, having 4 players to deal with.
You know, they're constantly droning here. Pika are not pushing anywhere in the map until they drone it. And when they do, they push together, just like this. We see a double push coming out here by the Pika, getting his shots missed off of Cloud, but Cloud sitting on extremely low health, able to at least take down Kiko before being taken down eventually by Nuno. So that's all the roamers out for Phoenix here. They're going to now push straight down onto sites. Sweet losing a little bit of health in the fight against Electro, but getting the final shot off as Hypes is left alone against 4.
At least Harps has one thing of note, Nitrosol in hand. If he can take the initial player out, he'll go great to his advantage, but unfortunately he does miss it. Still a 1v4 situation, 2 players below 50 HP can still bring this back. They go with a shotgun in hand, takes down Kara, a very important factor. Honestly, a guy that has been from time and time again getting those frags. Harps holding the corners, very unfortunate was taken up by Nuno, who of course really did wild peek onto start. From there, of course, taking down a player in a 1v3 situation. That information is still relayed towards a teammate stuck in a position, can't really do much. Of course, if he moves, he will be heard. Staying in the same spot, of course, is very risky, but Kiko as Nomad running straight into above initiation room, just completely avoiding the fact that there could be a player there. Of course, having a player advantage, having his teammates not too far behind, maybe waiting for the drone, just to maybe drone out. The drone was not too far behind, eventually did come in, but losing his life still very early on. Yes, having a player advantage, still allowing him some leeway. Maybe it was a bit careless, or maybe it was part of the strat, just to identify exactly where the player was.
Interesting to see that even though PYK4 are having a man advantage going into the round, they still pushed extremely just, I don't want to say slow because they weren't slow, but very cautiously, very droning each other out, pushing together. You never see a player playing in a position that he can't be refragged off of. And I think that that's going to be Phoenix's issue that they need to figure out in this game is how are they going to pick out these Pika players without being refragged themselves.
As you did said, of course, they were playing overly cautiously last round. I think might as well stick to your strat, stick to what you have planned for this going towards the finals. I don't think you should just throw out the door because you do have an advantage. Might as well just quickly get a few rounds before he joins back. Just as well, careless mistakes, maybe being overly aggressive will be punished. We do have drones, of course, clearing different rooms. As you can see, we do have lab and storage being cleared out by Kiko and Joystick. Very interesting. Once again, we do have the bandit, which of course been played by Electro, being droned out already so early on. We have quite a few players, of course, roaming around, using these different rooms that we did say before. Could be beneficial. Once again, Swag playing right above upper arcade, going on down arcade stairs. Maybe there's some around. He has learned where Sweet plays from, maybe where he enters from. Maybe he can take Sweet early on, then from there rotate around and once again cause havoc. I think, of course, Sweet's already having so early dominance on the first floor, making sure exactly which rooms are clear, which rooms he can play off of. As you can see, Ricky as RQ peeking through upper arcade, jumping through, obviously providing shots towards Cloud and Swak. And of course, is down himself. These players, of course, already skillful. Of course, shots were taken through. Unfortunately, down at the stage, of course, has a player not too far behind to get a trade if needed. It's up to right now, up to Nuno to, if anything, get a couple of kills, get the trades through, and then from there pick up his teammates. As you can see, Clouds already does beat the corner fast, peeks it really wide, taking down Ricky, who was down. Unfortunately, Nuno was not fast enough to react to the situation. Such a wild peak, of course, having a very limited space through the window to peek. As you can see, Cloud taking out Nuno, punishing for these initial miss. Right now, Cloud's in a very difficult situation between Cloud and, of course, the teammates. At least he has Joystick on arcade stairs to back him up.
Extremely good gameplay here coming out from Cloud. Kiko getting the final shots there onto Cloud as Sweet pushes but misses the Vigil, gets the shots of Vigil, misses the final shots and gets taken out by Sweet. Great shots there by Sweet and reaction time. Interestingly enough, I was going to say the first 3 rounds, Sweet was the player that picked up the first kill in all 3 of those rounds. So very aggressive gameplay coming out here by Sweet, and it's working out for him. Always being able to capitalize off of his teammates, giving him information. They had a great pinch there onto both the Jaeger and the Vigil.
Kiko as well, playing really slow into the roof, ensuring that his teammates who are towards terrace side, of course, just outside upper arcade, ensuring once they jump out, they will be protected from he jumped off the roof, crouched and prone straight away, and through that made himself very hard to see, very hard to hit. Unfortunately, Jaeger could not connect his shots. Maybe just been a bit puzzled as well, running out, seeing nothing and then being shot, couldn't connect his shots. Unfortunately, was taken down right now in the 3v2 situation. The thermal charge, of course, going down, having a teammate not too far behind. Half just making sure above him is clear. Electro plane right above throne, providing safety towards, of course, a little blue room. Just allowing his teammate to be able to make use of that if needed. Beautiful pre-fires coming from Kiko, allowing ensuring that no one is on site. Is getting traded himself. Joystick coming in with the defuse, still in a 3v2 situation.
Putting in a 3v2 situation, the diffuser is down and the shoddy comes out, downs Kiko. Joystick is also down, so we got 2 players down on the attacking side. It's a round win by Phoenix. Absolutely great play there and a duo play there by Electro and Hypes, winning that 3v2 diffuser down situation. It's great to see these players working together and communicating together just like that. Roma's doing a great job to slowly pick out at the health of Pika before Pika having to, they wasted a lot of Pika's time going into that. And by the time Pika were ready to push side, time was running down, which gave Phoenix a great situation to deal with.
Right now we do have players from both sides leaving. Pretty sure we're going to have a re-host at this stage. Quite interesting, like you did state, that Phoenix did bring back that round, making it a 3-1. Honestly, at that point, of course, the thermal charge going in, opening up so many rooms, so many possibilities, but this time around we did see Team Pika honestly centralizing their push, not really making use of all the different doorways and access holes that they do have. Maybe still having a player right above to protect the fuser. Would have been really interesting if that did come through, exactly if they would have access straight away. Honestly, I would have loved to see Team Pika do what they usually do, work with one another. Yes, really on sides, really having the different angles, pointing through. But quite interesting. Do you think pushing through one central point was the initial plan, or do you think it was, of course, being very situational, which of Game of Siege can be?
Yeah, I think sure. I mean, you gave me so much to unpack there, Bless. But I mean, great rounds there overall. Phoenix finally, taking out a round, even though being a man down. I think that that's going to be a great confidence boost for them, something that's needed, especially because of how controlling Pika have been so far in this matchup between the two. It seems like a lot of the players are struggling. I mean, we saw one of the Pika players lose connection there, Sweet. So we're going to have to obviously do another rehost here. I think mentioned a little bit before earlier. So the South African community constantly having to deal with internet issues, electricity issues, and yet the industry in South Africa is still growing so incredibly well. I mean, it's great to see.
In all honesty as well, I'm pretty sure it could even be a sign of respect from both players, both teams. Having a player down, of course, they don't want to be the winners of a team that had, of course, a player down and throughout the entire thing. Hopefully the player is back and through that they can allow opportunity. Maybe if one of the players does disconnect, cool, that's by the opposing team to come back. Maybe the internet is fixed. Honestly, if it is sportsmanship, you can see between the players, of course, having major respect for one another as players, as opposing teams. Of course, friendships between these teams, of course, are taking place. Really, really well played. I can't wait to see, of course, already been 3-1 in favor of Team Pika. Of course, we have seen Phoenix still holding out, still doing their very best with a player down. Even before that, I mean, it really did come down to the last couple of players. I mean, of course, Phoenix at that stage having a player down with the initial gunfights brought it back to the last 1v1. Unfortunately, still back then, it couldn't connect their final shots. And of course, Kuda, going back to unpacking the large questions, I mean, I'm asking questions that I would love to see. Of course, being a very, if I can say, stats orientated person yourself, having all these different ideas, maybe perspectives that I don't see. And I'd just love to see your point of view. I'm sure Chad as well, very interested in bringing up these questions. Maybe Chad as well, if you guys have any amazing answers to some of these questions that we do bring up, anything that you would recommend, feel free to interact with chats. I think Kudi as well, I think during this time, waiting for the re-host once again to finalize. We'd like to thank the viewers for coming in, tuning in, supporting the players once again, coming in, supporting not only the casters, the esports scene, and once again towards Team Meraki for organizing the event. Can't thank you guys enough for this amazing tournament, of allowing these players to make a name for themselves, and of course the organizations to not only represent the South African esports scene, but of course through there to get their players some experience, allowing them to prove the point that all this hard work does not go to waste.
Yeah, it's been great to see the amount of viewership that this tournament has gotten throughout the week. Seeing an average of 40, 50 viewers for a game that is during the week has been actually incredible to see. Hopefully this weekend we see a lot of people coming out for these semifinals and final matchups. I think tomorrow is going to be one hell of a day for this tournament. Especially, I mean, I think I'm sure the community is still a little bit shocked with everything happening on for yesterday.
Of course, yesterday being, like we did say before, the two biggest upsets that we have seen in the Rainbow Six Siege Esports in a long time amongst the players. Of course, the players still joining through. But like you did say, we'd like to see what will happen tomorrow if it was, of course, pure talent that did come out. And can we see that same level of competitiveness that we did see on the previous days? Of course, the console side of things still going through, pushing through. Very interesting to see how the different platforms are, how very interesting how both sides do handle different situations. Of course, the aim, and of course, is slightly different. Of course, sometimes hitting drones might be a thing. But of course, on the console side of things, we have seen the headshot ratios, which many of these players are, of course, really at 39% and up. That's a really high headshot percentage. I mean, a lot of PC players can't even, of course, achieve such high accuracy, and of course, that ratio itself. So honestly, at that stage, 40% of the time, the war hit a headshot. Of course, being in a siege game, it is a mechanic where one bullet towards the head will be an instant kill. Of course, that is a turning factor, especially if you consider how many bullets there are within a magazine.
Yeah, that's some good points there. I think I've seen a lot of, I guess, professional players complain about the headshot mechanics, but it's probably the reason I love this game so much. The fact that it's so different from everything else. But yeah, I mean, I think well, this is our last rehost for this map. We're just waiting on just one more player to jump into the lobby before we get things started here. I'm sure these players are super excited to get things done. Saying as which, Hypes finally joins, and we are back into theme park, ladies and gentlemen, into round 4 or 5, I guess. So Phoenix won in round 4, right?
Currently is right into round 5, like you did state. Unfortunately, right there just to confirm, a couple seconds later. But right now standing 3-1 in favor of Team PYK4. Of course, you know how close these games are. Having a player back, if anything, being a bit of a stressful situation. The last thing you want as a player, especially in such a tournament where you want to represent yourself, and of course having money on the line eventually. Honestly, it's one of the last things I always do believe. Competitive games like this, including being in such a tournament as well, there's such levels of stress and maybe even outside factors that we can't, of course, account for. Unfortunately, being internet problems or even electricity. So the player, of course, we disconnects already, of course, wants to connect back and help his team out. There's nothing worse about dropping your team, especially if you have no control. Yes, there are subs involved, but I mean, you would love to be part of the main 5 who takes the victory. Doesn't mean that if you are a sub that you aren't part of the team. Every person in the team has their role, and of course, if you win is a win for the entire team, for the entire organization.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, we constantly see that in Siege. You know, we have a lot of people coming over from other games and they see someone on the scoreboard that has, 1 kill or even 0 kills. And, we see a lot of people criticizing those players, but I think they forget the importance of support playing in a game like Rainbow Six Siege. So, as this community is growing and learning, it's great to see that a lot of love and support is coming out for those support players, and people are really backing up those support players. It's like, they didn't get a kill, yeah, but if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have won the round, or our fraggers wouldn't have got those kills.
As you did say, a lot of these competitive games are kill orientated. If you have the most kills, if you always pop off, you will be the fan favorites. But you're only as good as your weakest player. If you are, for example, a bandit, and if you are taken away straight early on, maybe every round, if you do play bandit, unfortunately you can never get a kill. But your bandit charges are still there. You're making use of your devices, you're making use of your utilities, providing your teammates safe. If I can even say safe haven within the site, ensuring that certain choke points cannot ever be breached. If you do, honestly, like you did state, I mean, it's easy to forget what a massive role these support players do. But right now, hopping straight into round 5. Of course, the time of course being 3 minutes, ticking down ever so slowly. Once again, we'll have a push from upper arcade. Having Aki, which is Ricky, who was previously down in the same situation. I think Phoenix as well learned a lesson, maybe not to overly push arcade. Maybe if anything, let them have arcade, but then from there, let's hold cafe. Maybe let's hold upper arcade, maybe just towards break room side, and then from there, pick them off one by one. Let's, if anything, break them away from the teamwork. If we can sandwich them in, maybe separate the players slowly but surely, we can make a plan. As you can see, Electro is he playing as Legion. Throwing out some of his Legion traps, is droned out himself. Cloud in a beautiful spot, watching yellow stairs from office. Hopefully he can catch up a player. XMC, we do have a lot of Phoenix side watching towards arcade, which the players have previously before have answered. Once again, we do have a nomad between the break room window. Maybe from there jumping in once again, maybe they have forgotten about it. Maybe they thought after the second time they will never repeat. But I mean, joining in, as we see Fuse not too far behind. I think being a Fuse as well, a very interesting pick. I don't think we have seen Fuse picked once within this tournament. Of course, people do overestimate him, maybe even having a Jaeger charges that to maybe even eliminate the threat. But of course, often the ADA systems aren't always on site. They usually bar a player who needs to hold a crucial, I can say even a hallway, a corridor behind a shield.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting to see how slow Pika are pushing here. This is, I believe, their slowest round so far. With 1 minute 10 seconds left, they've just been droning out the entire time, getting information, and now they're going for the plant. As the shots come out, Pika takes out Noxy as Ricky falls to Electro, who peeks out into Arcade and gets punished by Kiko. Shots coming out by Pika, finishing out the round very smoothly once getting that defuse down.
Really, really well played by Team Pika, of course, knowing that the Phoenix side had a lot of plays in very interesting spots, holding different angles from there going towards it. Once again, we do have two players disconnecting, quite interesting. I'm not too sure exactly how the situation will play out, but I mean, really seeing what happened around, a lot of action packed, only having 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and of course counting, got to defuse down super early on. Because at this stage, players have to play it out. Both re-hosts have been used. Quite interesting, especially from Team Peak, already using it before. Of course, Sweet. But at this stage, we have seen Phoenix, of course, pull it back. And once again, can Team Pika continue to lead? Only needing 3 more rounds to, of course, go to the second map and having one map to the name.
You know, it was super interesting to see there. Pika were playing very slowly, but at one point, every single one of their players was on a drone. And I think that they were just droning out and they realized, you know, hey, they're all holding the back side of the sites. We could just, you know, walk in and plant by door. And once they realized that, they were like, yeah, you know what? We got 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the round. Let's go for it. And I mean, I think they caught Phoenix kind of by surprise going for the plant so early in the round. And I mean, once that plant went down, it was panic stations by Phoenix. They were really just peeking absolutely everything. And the second they peeked it, Pika were there to punish them.
Unfortunately for a ton of events, especially in the semi-finals for the console side, so many players having technical difficulties, but right now we have to see the players play out. As you can see, Joystick being one of the players who disconnected and has returned. This time around, of course, waiting for his teammates in a 3v5 situation. We have been very dominant. At least at this stage, Joystick can sit on top of a drone and help his teammates out. Maybe not be completely out of the game just yet. I mean, drone work, as we've seen, this entire game has been an important deciding factor of who's going to win. Unfortunately, cameras of bodily defenders are often taken out straight away. Honestly, been a very crucial point in finding who the operators are, who is coming towards them, and from where. As you can see, Ricky once again using his drone to full effect, of course having a mute not too far behind. And once you can see spot the shields, holding different corridors. Once again, Kiko coming in from the second floor, which he has from time and time again through break room.
Yeah, we're seeing lots of drone work coming out. Even though there's only 3 players left on Pika's side here, they're still able to utilize those drones very well as Swak finishing it up, taking out Kiko, leaving him in a 2v5 situation. It's going to be a rough round for Pika, going into a 3v5 before the round even starts. Fortunately, both their teammates have returned now, so, you know, going into round 7, it will be a lot easier. They'll feel like the world has been lifted off of their shoulders. The stuns coming out here from Nuno as he pushes on into Cafe, trying to clear out upper arcade.
You can see Ricky busy holding the yellow corridor hallway. As you see, Nuno really coming in from Cafe's side, pushing off his teammate Ricky, who's going straight forward. Not too aware that it is a player towards arcade window, being sandwiched in by the Phoenix players who already have took an early peek from the opposing side, and from there sandwiching the last couple of players that they did know towards Cafe and even upper arcade, which they have been known for from pushing from time and time again. Going into round 7, having all the players once again reunited. At this point, it's still very early in the stages to say, well, Phoenix is picking up rounds left and right. Maybe they can pull back, bring it back to a 4v4 in terms of rounds, and then from there, maybe take it all. As you can see from Team Pika have been very consistent, very smart of how they've been playing, very cautious, changing up the plays, being super aggressive in the beginning. From now on, playing a little bit more cautious, really making sure that they have joined out everything correctly.
So we see PYK going all the way down to Armory Throne Room as their first defensive site. From Phoenix's side, we saw them take upstairs first. They really wanted to try and, I believe they went straight to kids, or no, they did office and initiation room first, um, before trying out daycare. But yeah, it's super interesting to see that they're going to go straight for throne here. They're going to go for a kind of typical lineup here. I'm sure that bandit's going to be used to try and stop them opening up the walls from barrels. That's extremely important wall there, including the wall from maintenance. Those are practically the two main walls that people like to push. We see the joystick kind of pulling out the castle. Super interesting to see. Fortunately, with Electro as Sledge, they won't have too much difficulty dealing with those.
Been seeing how aggressive they were, especially on the attacking side of things, having a castle just to buy them some time, maybe even waste utilities. For example, if they had an Ash, waste one of those charges. Of course, having a sledge will not be a problem, but when a sledge is taken down pretty early on, maybe even a Sophia, it'll be pretty difficult for the attacking side to enter the rooms. Yes, of course, having a banner, having a thermite, but you don't want to waste your charges so early on, especially being able to break the reinforced walls. Trolling, of course, going into Cafe, which they pushed, or of course was already heavily attacked by. Ready shots being fired from Swag, trying to get into, of course, the second floor, trying to get top floor advantage. None of his teammates were not too far behind, at least he has clouds around the corner. Very interesting how everything's going down. We do, of course, have Harps in Cafe, having Roxy, who is, of course, the first time seeing him around within this game, playing from arcade window, having substitutes coming in. Right now, ready player falls down. Kiko, unfortunately, be taken out really early on, especially as the Vigil, who was the Roman, now in a 4v5 situation.
Left upstairs alone, trying to fend off this push here by Phoenix, trying to waste a little bit of time so that his teammates down below can just clean it up as the round ticks down. Sitting at 1 minute 40 seconds to go, he has been able to really just draw the attention of the Phoenix team here, but it seems like they're going to go for a four-man pinch here as Electro takes out Nuno very smoothly and easily. It was a great push, team push there by Phoenix. I definitely think they're starting to, utilize that teamwork and being able to refrag off of each other as Sweet gets down from the vertical play coming out from Cloud, leaving Ricky and Joystick in a 2v4 situation with a minute left on the clock as their first defense round. They're stuck in a rough position.
We have seen Phoenix in the same position before where they have clutched up. Ricky, just as busy speaking, gets a beautiful kill against Electro, goes down the hatch, rotates all the way around. Brother Void Arcade, of course, stays ready, taking a peek from there. Knowing there are players around, we were returning shots, having his teammate Joystick on side, busy holding out as long as he can until the fellow teammate can make it back. Everything gets some more picks. Already been in a better situation, in a 2v3 situation. As you can see, this map Team PYK is very defender orientated and having some amazing objects to counter the, of course, the opposing side's bullets. But on the same note, which we did see, sometimes these different obstacles within side can prove to be extremely difficult for the defending side. We try to help one another. Some shots happening around throne, currently sandwiched in. Beautiful shots for Joystick, trying to buy as much time as he can for his teammate to make it back, and of course getting as many trades as he can. Swag taking down Joystick, currently in a 1v2 situation, and Cloud finishes the round, winning round 7.
Great play there by Phoenix. We saw them really going for that refrag push, pushing in teams of 2. They even managed to pinch the Jaeger there with 4 of their players. So the Jaeger would have to kill all 4 of them to, keep on roaming. But we saw Ricky with the rotate there upstairs takes out one of the attackers and rotates back downstairs, leaving Phoenix kind of confused and searching for him all over a daycare area. I think a really good rotate there by him, wasting a lot of time to try and help Joystick just a little bit. But it seems like Pika you know, they've been very aggressive in their attacking rounds, and I think that aggressiveness has come over into the defensive rounds. But this time they weren't close enough to each other that they could support one another.
I think, of course, having all these difficulties have definitely thrown both sides off ever so slightly. Of course, bringing up some frustration. But right now, both sides are still very close, still very far from apart from saying we will take this first map. Of course, still being Phoenix's side, of course, maybe they were slightly more confident on attacking, just trying to get as many defending rounds as they could. Going into the attacking phase, of course, this is where they can bring it back, if anything, win the map. Once again, we have Kiko the Reaper leaving the game through technical difficulties. This is exactly what Phoenix needs to take advantage of the 4v5 situation, having an extra player playing off one another as they have previously. Unfortunately, that's a major blow towards Team PYK4.
Yeah, Team PK in an unfortunate situation here. They were, a couple rounds up, and now misfortunes are just coming out. But Phoenix are going to have to try and capitalize on this to bring it to a 4v4. I think it'd be great if Phoenix were able to, take their map, win their map, move on to Villa, and then try do the same thing to Pika.
Right now, of course, being very cautious. Team Phoenix is playing really slow. They have been aware that there have been roamers in the past. As we can see, Ricky playing around arcade stairs, holding upper arcade where Noxy is peeking. Once again, Noxy and Harps playing off one another. Electro making his way through damn daycare, taking down the player who was on arcade stairs, returning the favor which happened to them previously, currently in a 2v5 situation as Swag takes down Sweet. A major blow, as he was, of course, one of the high kill players previously. Saw Joystick and Nuno holding backside. We've seen Joystick in this position before, very, very good at what it does, preventing accident, of course, still taking down a few players, allowing his teammate to rotate back, with Nuno is currently holding bathroom.
They're opening a lot of vertical holds here, trying to move Joystick around into a position that they feel comfortable pushing him from down below. They really just got to put some pressure on him, make him feel a little bit awkward where he's at, make him feel unsafe, so that you can kind of get in there and plant the diffuser. So you saw they opened up all the vertical holes in A side, which pushed Joystick all the way back. As I say that, Hives finishes out Nuno, leaving Joystick in a 1v5. Joystick retaliates, but taking out Noxy, but Hives finishes it out with a refrag.
Really, really well played by Joystick, of course, taking out the player, putting him in a position where he can have the 1v1, eliminating the possibility of a teammate helping him out. Of course, knowing that it is a third match, always having a player from that position. And really, of course, having a top level control, he couldn't really do as much as he would like. Playing off the, of course, taking down diffuser so early on. Maybe if he could get a hold of the second player, there was a player, of course, above yellow stairs. Drew currently jumped down right to the end there in case his teammate could not pull through. Still, once again, Kiko not returning just yet. Quite an interesting choice, but Sweet choosing in Mozzie. At least they will be able to use the drones, which they have very effectively on the attacking side to their own advantage. Pitting in very similar spots, we do have a brilliant six-pick between from Bandit by Nuno towards Frost. We've been taken off very early on. Maybe the Frost will allow the players from there to hopefully eliminate the 1v4 into a 1v1. While all three of the opposing members stepping into a Frost trap, it is very much possible, of course. We don't really see Frost being played that much often for her traps, mainly for her gun and the different situations that she can hold.
It looks like Peak are trying something very new here. They were like, you know what? We're not winning these sites. We want to stay downstairs, so let's go drug. Might as well. So we'll see what happens or how they're planning on holding this. Bringing out two trap operators, it seems as though they might do a heavy hold here with perhaps Sweet on the roam as a Mozzie, especially with that drone denial ability.
Of course, lab being and of course storage being very difficult sites to hold. Of course, having so many different corridors that they need to worry about and reinforce. At this stage, having no operator that can hopefully, of course, electrify the walls, preventing access. The banner would have came in very useful, limiting how many walls that could be opened up from the corridors. There are, of course, arcade window and, of course, within storage, not even mentioning different other opportunities such as the arcade entrance where players can come in and, of course, trap the players onto sites. Of course, being above side, they can obviously open up quite a bit, and from there eliminate players in these very common spots. Right now, we're having players going towards right above, of course, storage, which of course is cafe, trying to get that top level control from there to shoot through. Ricky in a very much of a predicament himself, trying to hold the cafe side of things. And of course, the yellow hatch, very, very difficult. Being droned out, he knows that he has not many opportunities from this point. Being droned out is very unfortunate for Roma. I mean, as you can see, Swak really pushing in as RQ once again, having his teammate by Arcade when supporting him. He does indeed see the Mozzie on Arcade. Stairs cannot connect shots, so Mozzie pulls out, goes back towards Sats, plays fairly safe, still on the roam, having his teammate Ricky to support him.
There's just so many drones for Mozzie to have to deal with. He was being chased by 2 drones there. Great utilization of absolutely everything that they have. Phoenix really coming back well so far in this matchup. The first couple of rounds they seemed a little bit off, a little bit shaky, but it seems as though they just needed to kind of get into the groove. Now we have PYK on the back foot, trying to just win another round on this defense to try and just get something back from Phoenix.
So holding on to start, the drones come into play. Beautiful pre-fires from the attacking side. We do have Kiko returning, being able to support his players, maybe even go on camps on the defending side. Fun information. Electro having so many holes above, Bob playing Sledge, making his opportunities for his team. And of course, Ash opening up spots as well with the breach charges. Right now, we don't actually have any hard breach besides the thermite. We can actually open up so many possibilities for the attacking side, already having so many opportunities as it is. Joystick being played as Legion on site does indeed take down Noxy. Harps right behind Joystick, gets the trade, and Swak once again take down Sweet. Currently in a 2v4 situation. Nuno getting the trades through as well, taking down Swak. We got a beautiful rotate by Reki taking down Clouds, and even down in one sees Diffuser returning back into a 1v1 situation. Very hectic, very aggressive gameplay right now. Honestly, at this point, time is ticking down. Only 10 seconds left. Diffuser was down, has been picked up by Harps. At this stage, ADA assistance while the Jaegers come into play, and Nuno as Frost. Very interesting 6 pick. Of course, wins the round, not only for themselves as Team PYK, pushing through, ensuring that they have the dominance, at least have a 1 round lead.
Absolutely great gameplay there by PYK. Here I am saying that they are on the back foot, and they showed me that I was, not accurate in that analysis, showing us that they are not out of this game. Sweet's kind of being punished a little bit these past couple rounds for his, aggressiveness. We spoke the first 2 rounds. His aggressiveness really worked out for him. He was able to get a lot of picks off on the Phoenix squad. But, since moving over to defense, he seems to get taken out fairly early in the rounds, as Phoenix seems to be efficient at hunting down those roamers and, utilizing so much utility that those roamers, almost have no impact.
Once again, we're going towards Throne Room, which is avoiding the second floor completely. I mean, as you can see, it worked really well. Having aromas in very good situations, being undetected throughout the entire initial stage where they were droned out. Taking out those drones were very crucial. Of course, leaving the top floor was very dangerous, but as you can see, towards the end, towards the final gunfight, where the attacking side are unified towards a very limited breach charges that they have towards the door frame of Lab. Unfortunately, the Thermite could not get any breach charges onto the, of course, reinforced walls at that stage, allowing more access towards us. At that stage, well, time ticking down, only 10 seconds left. Sophia never already had much of a choice. Either go in, get the defuse, or go for the kill. Putting herself in a very dangerous spot. But of course, being as Frost, having that amazing SMG, really close range, considering, of course, how long these battles can be. As you can see down Dragon Stairs, has such a long corridor where the SMG might not help you as much compared to an AR.
Yeah, that's a fairly accurate statements, but it was just great. How do I say this? Like, holding that area was almost a perfect situation for the Frost there, especially with that rotate that we saw by that Mozzie. After that rotate, all the Frost had to do was just hold behind those barrels, not over peak. And he, did a great job at pre-firing the door, knowing exactly where the Zofia was and getting those shots off first.
Playing ready slow, ready going into 2 minutes. Shots were engaged between the Vigil and the RQ. Of course, Vigil's ability was activated, allowing the RQ to see them right through the barricaded window. Of course, being Vigil, knowing that the player was not too far behind, they can hear the footsteps of the player going through that pre-fight as well. Honestly, pretty much an even trade of HP. Top level control going through. As you can see, Cloud playing as Ash, sees a player, shoots beautifully. We've seen the different officers, could not connect his shots. The cameras work while the defenders are coming into play. Interesting choice that the cameras have not been taken out so early on. Right now, still in a 5v5 situation. Only a minute and 20 seconds remaining. Right now, of course, playing very slow, using the drones to full capacity. At this stage, we'll have plenty of defenders on site, naming just a two. Once again, Nuno and Joystick, we have been holding the own, having the teammates, giving them leeway to roam around, who did come in clutch last round.
You know, it's great to see PYK really just wasting a lot of time here on Phoenix. Phoenix not really sure how to deal with all of these people that are roaming just off of site. With 55 seconds left on the round, we're finally seeing some shots getting taken out as PYK are left in a 4v5 situation with 45 seconds on the clock. Sweet is losing just a little bit of health in this gunfight against Clouds. But we're seeing some, movement now from Phoenix as they get ready to go for the the plant as Swak finishes out the shots onto Sweet, who was already on low health. Kiko taking a lot of damage here, just left with a slither.
Currently in the 3v5 situation, trades are coming in. Nuno doing massive plays right now. Nuno on Harps, Electric taking down Kiko, and Nuno once again finding himself a second kill against Clouds. Bringing it back to a 2v2 situation as one of the players are down. Diffuser is down, having his player not too far behind to support him. Nuno is taking down a 1v1 situation, and Swak taking down Joystick to win the attackers the round. Very, very interesting player. Super aggressive towards the end there. Of course, only having a minute to work off of. But just the two defenders that were remaining in such a difficult situation, bringing it so close to the final 1v1 is outrageous. Even how it came to the point, I have no idea. This just proves why these players deserve to be in this situation, why they are one of the best, why they made it to the semi-finals, and why they have a chance of going towards the finals.
Some incredible shots coming out there from Nuno, getting a 3K, I believe. All those players just kept pushing the breach, but he just kind of held his ground there. Nothing to complain about really from the Phoenix side of things. That was a brilliant push. Last second, they utilized their time well. They were able to clear out a section of the map before making the push onto sites. And once they pushed onto sites, it was fairly quick, fairly easy. And they deserved that round win.
Going into round 11 neck and neck, pretty much anybody's game. Whoever can get some leeway this time around will go into map 2 of confidence. Of course, just winning one more map will be 2-0, taking home the semi-final stage, going towards the finals. But I'll go back to throne room. Very interesting choice. Clearly see how they have been previously holding it in armory. Yes, it has worked in favor, and of course, once again, did not. But we'll see how it works this time around. Of course, mistakes were made. Knowing that the two anchors, we were still on site, can hold their own. Maybe relying on the roamers a little bit too much. Maybe one of the roamers should pull back. Turning in the final fight 2 or 3 be something. Instead of falling, just entrusting your last 2 anchors to pull the weight. Very interesting plays right now. Of course, Phoenix being pretty much unstoppable the past couple of rounds. Right now, working off one another, making use of the entire 3 minutes to their advantage. Play slow, play safely. Of course, just get that crucial information from them making the plays happen.
Great to see both of these teams really showing us why they deserve to be in the final rounds of this tournament, competing for that cash prize. Drones coming out very quickly with a great use of the Mozzie here, getting his drone set up so that he can give some information of any potential push from that side of the map. Fairly interesting to see here that, Phoenix are still practically all outside. They just want to gather some information before deciding, how are they going to push in on this. Swak all the way upstairs, just clearing it out. I'm not sure he realizes, or I don't know if he knows that Ricky is busy right now playing upstairs in bunk. As Ricky drops down hatch and rotates, I believe he just got droned out.
Very crucial point there, punching the drone, currently behind 3 of the attacking players, tries to pull back, once again being caught on the stairs. The stairs once again do form a 90, once you're stuck on them you can't really go anywhere, having a top balcony place where defenders can of course hide behind and shoot straight down. Pushing around such an early pick, Ricky who has one, if I'm not mistaken, it was at round 8 for the, of course, the defending side, but right now in the 4v5 situation, of course, Sledge played as Electro, he was heavily tagged, currently just under 30 HP. Harps being caught off guard by a defending player who is currently playing in lab. Harps trying to return the favor, trying to get the kill. Once again, Kiko bring it back to a 4v4 situation, currently looking towards storage side. Sledge right above. Side trying to get a pick, allowing his teammates to go past, trying to find a player who was last seen in lab. As you can see, Cloud try to catch a player off guard. Kiko still holding his position, no need to move around too much. They already know his position's there. I think Kiko did indeed spot the Cloud who's playing Ash. Arky coming in, the flashbangs coming into play. Kiko caught in the middle of a reload, looks back towards storage, unfortunately overpeaks too far right, misjudging how much cover that he had. Being sandwiched in by the attacking Saldane, gets taken down by Clouds.
You know, great call there by Clout for the rotate of Swak. Yeah, I think it was an absolutely great push there onto the Jaeger, really just getting control over that side of the map so they can finally make that push. Clout getting punished as he peeks wide, but the refrag coming out by Phoenix with 7 seconds left on the clock. We're left in a 2v2 situation as a team kill comes out onto Swak as Tweet finishes up Electro. Plants going down, but Joystick finishes up Noxy, winning the round for Team Pika.
Team Pika only needed one more round to take map 1, which of course was Phoenix's choice, and then through they're going to map 2, which will of course will be Vela, which was their pick. Of course, having their own map, having their map of still upcoming, taking home the first map, of course being opposing teams choice will be a massive blow. As you can see the stats right now, we currently have Nuno currently on 9 kills. As we can see throughout the whole thing, both sides are pretty even in terms of kills. This teamwork coming into play. Couple seconds left. Can we see a 6-pick? Would it be quite interesting to see? We have seen Nuno play Frost before, done really well with Frost. Will Nuno actually fake it out or stay with Frost, knowing that you can do quite a bit with it?
You know, the roamers on Pika side really being punished by Phoenix. They're not really able to get any of those shots off. You know, they take 1 or 2 shots, but the second Phoenix have realized their position. They're pinching them super hard, super quickly, and you know, they took both Sweet out and Kiko out without losing any of their operators.
Going straight back to the first floor, where we have seen the defending side really hold it out, even though it isn't the objective, which I'm almost thinking was Kiko the Reaper, who was playing off. He found 1 kill of a player, returned back there, almost taking out Clouds, and of course being sandwiched in. Very interesting choice from Lab and Storage, having a player Mozzie, having his Mozzie placed upstairs, which is actually very interesting. Of course, like we did see, of course, the plays from the opposing team, making use of their drones throughout the entire thing, or everyone currently being on the first floor, maybe faking a second floor hold, maybe just giving it away. As of course you can't really do much on the second floor besides getting the kills, try to find information, maybe even taking out utilities by the defending side. That doesn't make a difference if you have top floor control. You can't of course drop straight down towards side because there aren't any hatches. Any hatches that were there of course was removed in the previous rework.
Yeah, that hatch in the old rework was always a big fight, at least a constant fight for the players. The hatch now being moved, and it's in between, you know, 2 of those generators, makes it very hard to peek it.
As you see players coming from yellow corridor side, having the teamwork from both sides. Unfortunately, the frost traps were taken down, but I don't think the attacking side will expect 2 more to be there. Unfortunately, could not see them from the grappling upside down. Right now, we have to hold on this stage, of course, the crucial choke points, which of course will be the corridors and of course arcade entrance. At this stage, we see 2 players once again holding side for the team, which we have seen before, which is Joystick and Nuno being a very important factor towards the end of the round. Not necessarily being the best players between the team, but really doing what they can best and playing off what the other teammates have done. As you did say, of course, the Roma side of things, maybe not really doing as much as I would like to, but I see Ricky in a very good spot, not thrown out, having a few players upstairs, clearing the left side from Arcade, moving away towards the, of course, Sart eventually, but you have Cloud who has been on Sart. Obviously came through barrel room, very, of course, very aggressive, pre-firing straight onto Sart, trying to get himself a kill, using his drone work, trying to find the opposing team. He, of course, does find out a player who was hiding in blue. Ricky gets spotted out as well. Doesn't have visibility just yet. Unfortunately, does get spotted out. But from here, in upstairs, all alone, having 3 players not too far behind. Of course, having a player in Cafe, 1 player in Daycare, 1 player towards Upper Arcade. Pretty players know that they are pretty close, reuniting together, try to turn this 1v1 into a 1v3 situation. Kiko not too far behind, shoots Cloud on the stage, and of course takes him down Arcade stairs. A massive blow to the attacking side, of course putting him back towards his teammates.
Yeah, I don't actually think that they had droned Ricky out as of yet, as he drops Hatch and Joystick gets one. Vigil gets punished there, but, as able to pick off one, and Pika finish it up with Sweet taking out Klaus. Great roam there by the Vigil, making sure he wasn't droned out before peeking out onto the... I'm trying to think who he peeked out onto. But got that kill off, rotated back down, took out the Thermite, and it was just a clean round from Pika, taking the map away from Phoenix. It's going to be a huge confidence boost for them going into the second map.
Going back to that previous play about the Romans, of course, coming up from that second floor, catching a player off guard, being Arcade, if I'm not mistaken, it was indeed Clouds. Already having that hatch previously open, dropping down straight into barrel room, finding the Thermite, who, of course, very important fact to try to get into the sides, and taking down Diffuser with him. Of course, in that spot, there was already shot ball that was ready open straight towards Sart, which was Lab, and was killed himself. But having the players from Ward's Lab shooting straight through the rotator hole, taking down the fellow opponents, and from there winning the entire round, going straight into map 2, which will, of course, Team Pika Sart. Can we see a 2-0? Seeing how close this previous game was, of course, a lot of technical difficulties, of course, working in favor of both teams. This time around, all players are, of course, warmed up, all players are ready, all players are confident. Team Pika already having a massive lead. Can we expect something similar to happen towards map 2, having their choice? We've seen Team Pika play Vela before, of course winning their previous game 2-0, but so has Phoenix. Both teams are pretty evenly lined up at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a very close matchup there between the two teams. It seems like they have very similar playing styles, especially in the way that they attack. It seems like they both could just not really reply to the defense side of things. Pika managing to get things together there, coming towards the end of the map. I think the roaming wasn't really working for them, so they changed it up by roaming together. You had 2 players roaming together, and then the Vigil roaming alone far away. And I think, utilizing the fact that they had that, they were able to refrag when one of their I guess when they pushed out Sweets, they were able to refrag there, and then they had the Vigil, who I don't think Phoenix even knew about.
Honestly, but Phoenix just honestly playing it really cautiously as well, using their drones. Unfortunately, that time around, the drones were taken out pretty early on. I mean, really well played from the opposing team. Currently, Kiko being playing Vigil, hiding within Cash, working his way all the way around towards Arcade Stairs. From there, honestly, winning around, but we have seen Ricky in the same situation, and of course for Team Pika, taking on a very important factor, having 3 players just outside of course, the corridor towards the lab, taking on 2 players, of course, dropping Diffuser, leaving it to a 1v1 situation. Right now, we can obviously all players are busy reconnecting. Hopefully, no issues have been brought up. But honestly, going into the second map, being Vela, quite an interesting choice, and we really do love it. One of the newer maps, if you think about it over the Siege course of history, honestly, one of those maps I've personally never really had much chance to play, never really got into it straight away. Tried it out, personally not one of my favorites, but there is a reason why these top level teams always choose it. It's because there's so many rooms to work off of, so many floors. Of course, having your basement and your main floor, and then of course your second floor. From there, rotating around be very crucial for what these roamers can do. But honestly, top level control is still a very crucial factor. Yes, there might not be so many places for their opposing team to open up, but it still is an additional factor that the defending team must, of course, consider.
So, Plet, moving into this next map, are you expecting very similar bans that we saw in the first map, or do you think we're going to see kind of bans being changed to try and counter any of the ops that were played quite often in the previous matchup?
Of course, being Vela, very strat-orientated map, I think one of the first defending side of was obviously C will be a mirror. Thinking of how important a mirror can be, especially for all these different rooms. If we go to the second floor towards, of course, aviator side, you can watch straight into studies, and that's a crucial point to hold. Of course, having bar, there's so many different 90-degree angles and so many hallways that you can peek through, so many soft walls that you can eventually open up to get such a line of sight, giving your defending side the advantage. But once again, we'll probably see either Arcade or Bandits banned just to eliminate the fact of having all these soft walls being reinforced and, of course, being protected. But I think, once again, it's pretty much guaranteed that Thatcher, or possibly, I think Thatcher ban will definitely be expected, so you don't have the player from quite a distance breaking these different hard, crucial points that you want to protect your utilities. Then, if anything, having a Maverick, being forced to get very close and personal with his Maverick, throwing in a grenade, maybe even having a Nacho to return the favor right behind, which we have seen, especially being on the second floor from the bar side. Nacho's been of course, been thrown right above the reinforcements. There's a small gap. If you can still break the soft wall, throw it over. Honestly, at this stage, I think of something like maybe even Frost, who could be possibly banned from the opposing team. I think it was a big hassle towards Phoenix side.
Yeah, I think that it's funny to say that a Frost was the thorn in a team side there, but she was very powerful on many of those rounds, and Phoenix, I don't think, knew how to just get her out of those positions she was holding. I'm looking forward to seeing both teams having their full squads up for this entire game. We had we had two rehosts last map, and I think we saw both teams play a man down for I think 2 rounds. I think both teams played a man down for 2 rounds. So it'll be great to see these teams actually go 5v5, not allowing any of these teams have an advantage over the other even before the round starts.
Hopping straight into it, being map 2, being Villa. Already having a player drop out, which is sweet. Very unfortunate turn of events. I'm pretty sure he can still join during this phase. Right now, the first operator being banned, of course, being a Jackal. Being a very crucial point, especially think of how big this map is, how important Romans will be in terms of, especially what we saw from the previous round from both sides. And of course, still early stages, the Romans did not do as much as they would like to. But towards the end, definitely coming into clutch. Of course, bringing the tide. Of course, if you have such amazing defenders, such amazing anchors, holding their own, eventually having those Romans just to pick off as many players as they can. We see the Maverick come into play. Quite an interesting choice. Like I said, I'd rather have a Maverick get close and personal than having a Thatcher still at quite a distance, maybe even throwing through a window, get rid of all those utilities, not only breaking both the bandits and Cades, but also even mute jammers, maybe even other things placed on the side.
So we see the Vigil ban coming out, which is almost not surprising given how powerful he was in the last matchup. Both teams utilizing him quite often. This last ban here, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a mirror. If we don't see a mirror, I will probably be, yeah, I mean, I can't see any, or at least I can't think of any other operator that would be, but instead they go for the Ella ban. Once again, I think that Shotty might be too powerful for that.
What an interesting choice. I mean, I think I already did bring up some important, of course, factors. Being a mirror, I think we always do see a mirror being banned, but we should expect a mirror being played. Sweet has returned. Honestly, seeing how powerful the Vigil was, of course, countering the droning tactics that both teams made use of, it's quite important. Already having the Jackal being removed. Now, the only choice we can see, Ella as well, the shotgun has came into play so many times, been able to open to both hatches and soft walls. No, but once again, I'm still a bit puzzled towards the Maverick. I don't think he's the most crucial switch on this map, but of course, these are chosen for a reason. Now we see Kiko and doing a 6-pick from Sophia towards Nomad. And of course, from the defending side of things, they aren't doing a 6-pick just yet. Maybe they aren't willing to just try to fake out the opponent's side just to make it seem like they are keeping their players. But of course, we do have a Master, which is also one powerful operator, including the Valkyrie, both adding additional cams towards the defending side, providing that crucial information, allowing them to work off of their own plays. Of course, going into this first or the second map, the first round, Of course, the defending side will be Team PYK. Of course, being their map, they do have strats. Quite interesting. Sorry, Team PYK being on the attacking side. Quite interesting to see exactly how they plan to go on about this and what they have installed for us.
Oh, excuse me, Plet. Yeah, I think the sixth pick onto Nomad is fairly interesting. We saw Nomad being played a few rounds on the last game, although we didn't see any run outs. But given the fact that both teams utilized their roamers quite often, they were able to get rid of those roamers. Now, without a jackal, it's going to be difficult to try hunt them down. So bring a nomad. That way you can throw nomads on the staircases, stop these roamers from rotating and getting those peaks. I think, seeing from Phoenix's side, or at least from Phoenix's side, that was the reason they lost the last round there, was because of the rotate by the Pika players. So perhaps Pika, like, you know what, they're probably going to roam heavy. So, let's bring a nomad. Let's bring a couple claymores. Something to try and stop these roamers from, kind of dominating these rounds.
Because the bandit coming into play, preventing any access towards side as much as they can. Because they do, of course, have a Thermite, which has been played by Joystick once again. Joystick, of course, coming into clutch as the Thermite, being a very support-oriented player, both on the defense and the attack. Playing ready, so Swag holding right to the bottom, preventing access straight from right to the bottom, working their way up. Possibly a strat that he doesn't want to happen. Allowing the play, of course, the attackers from work away from the bottom, work their way up, preventing any roamers, sandwiching them in. But we have seen roamers, especially on this map, going right to the bottom, even going across one point to another, which has worked out. It might seem a bit bizarre, but you'll never expect a roamer to be roaming for the majority of the time. Thinking it's only 3 minutes, and of course, towards the 1 minute mark, action will be taken down close to sides. Going into master bedroom side, we have the players busy joining out, even towards closets. Really close to side, not really exactly holding it. Even bathroom is being left undefended. Astronomy has well been one crucial point, even though stairs isn't seeing any defense. As you can see, Reki coming in as the Ash, taking down Shader, and once Noxy returning the favor, ensuring that his teammate isn't going down in vain. Noxy finds himself a second kill against Reki, currently in a 3v4 situation.
And the Ash just pushing on straight in there, trying and get a sneaky pick out of the Phoenix lineup, but getting punished for that. But it fortunately got the first kill. We see shots being missed out by both players here. Sweet leaving on just a slither of health, as well as Cloud.
Right now, so in a 4v3 situation, as I say that Sweet is taken down by Swak in a 2v4 situation. Still HP on one of the players from both sides are super low. We have, busy holding down Bathroom, turning back to a 2v3 situation, but taking down Electro. Joystick holding a beautiful angle from Bedroom, being pre-fired by the opposing team. Moving around, picking a little bit wider, seeing any player through, of course, the opposing room, which is connected by a couple of archers that they can see right through. Joystick running straight to start, taking down Cloud, being super aggressive, but of course working in his favor, hiding behind the statue. Going Marco for the defuse once they know it's clear. The Volpe playing in Astronomy, holding down Bathroom. Joystick going for the, of course, the defuse if he can get it in the right angle. Nuno's still very low himself. Beautiful shots coming past, taking on Swak in a 2v1 situation. Bomb is going down, the Nitrosol is missed. The defusing player, of course, taken down. And there you go, Noxy winning the round for the defenders. Extremely well played. Diffuser going down, especially having a player down throughout the entire fight. The Nitrosol downing the player, of course, clutching it up towards the end.
Absolutely great play there by Noxy. That C4 kind of saved the day there. It stopped the diffuser going down, but it also downed the thermite, allowing for a much easier push. Just great defensive round there by Phoenix, taking the first round on Pika's map.
Right now, we're of course going into round 2. Once again, the rounds are pretty close, back to back. No team having a major lead. We see Sweet having a 6-pick from RQ towards Sophia, which we have seen from 6-pick previously, from Sophia to a different operator, maybe sticking towards Sophia. Of course, both having LMGs, which is of course having the LMG meta behind you, having that beautiful magazine side to back you up, especially the pre-fights we do see coming in. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of course, a reload. Going towards kitchen side and dining room. Very interesting plays. We have seen plays holding up above laundry hatch. From there, we did see, of course, a Thermal try to open up that reinforced hatch, and now his teammates from the outside to push in safely, but was taken down by a brilliant Nacho himself, and then from there, Diffuser falling in.
Great to see the utilization of, just every type of operator here. I think this is the first time we're seeing the Valkyrie being brought out. I don't think she was brought out a single time in the last map. But given the fact that these teams are able to communicate so efficiently, especially we've seen them use a lot of their drones, I think, getting those cameras onto the defensive side gives them a lot more information that, the attacking team might not be able to realize is being fed to the other ops.
Right now, so doing the droning phase. Well, of course, droning phase of the natural start of the round, but things can happen. We do have the defenders, of course, sticking together, especially on such a crucial side. We have Cloud moving around towards red, going all the way downstairs where he was holding before. And of course, to limit any possibility for the players from downstairs working their way up. Of course, on near kitchen, we do have pantry and pantry stairs, where players can enter from the bottom. Could be a natural force towards the side, even having a window going straight into kitchen if open up. If they had a banner, now unfortunately, the third must jump in, risk his life, and of course, what they open up a beautiful opportunity for his team. Through that breach, you can see right into kitchen, all these different opportunities, nowhere to hide. We do have a Nomad blocking off red stairs, placing their Nomad jobs, ensuring that no other roamers can make it onto sides. Of course, as a defender, by the time you make your way up, you will be taken down. We do have players busy sandwiching the players from top floor and bottom floor, ensuring that there is any defenders moving around that will be taken down. After the initial roamer is taken down, of course, having a player advantage, we will see them push towards sides, and we have a beautiful angle by Ricky, taking down Clouds, turning the tide for the attackers. This is exactly what they need to now to direct and streamline their attacks towards sides because they have a player advantage.
Ricky just waiting for that rotate by Cloud there. Absolutely beautiful, protecting his team's back. Even though there was an air jab on staircase, he thought, let me just hold this for a little bit longer. Cloud rotating up. It was an easy pick for Ricky. A massive fall to the PYK side as Joystick falls, and now they're left without a hard breacher, which is going to be extremely hard, especially given this site.
Right now, Ricky once again using the different holes his teammate has made, catches the Legion off guard, takes him down. Kiko taking down opposing player, Ricky taking down Noxy. Of course, Shadio as well taking down Kiko, leaving in a 3v1 situation in favor of the attackers. Shadio once again playing bandits with his SMG in hand, spraying through, misses a drone, sees a player rush through. Unfortunately, that crouch did save Sweet's life, but really well played, directing, almost faking out the projection which he was running. Fortunately, being banded, you couldn't really connect his shots, and there you go, winning a round for the attackers once again. Joystick has left the game, possibly more technical issues. Now the matches are once again are even 1-1. Obviously, having no more re-hosts available, have to keep playing through the entire game.
Crazy to see. I guess just these teams realizing that they can't defend a certain site. They realize that they have mistakes. They're like, you know what? Let's go change up sites here. We'll get a way better pick. We'll be able to defend this better. I think that just seeing how PYK are pushing everything, I'm sure we're going to see Phoenix kind of change their game style up here. We saw a lot of vertical gameplay, a lot of patient gameplay by PYK there, just allowing Phoenix to kind of overextend just a little bit every single time.
Right now, we do have Joystick just rejoining back in time, getting Capital. Quite an instant choice. We already have seen that. We did say before all these different operators that we normally won't. We do get Frost, and we did previously get Valkyrie on this map. Once again, Valkyrie being a very crucial player, especially looking at the stats right now, the support coming out from all sides. Noxy, of course, clutching up the first round, winning that game, getting himself 2 kills just that round alone. We do have a 6-pick between the Doc and the Jaeger. Quite interesting because, of course, how powerful Doc and Rook was before for the defending side, having the powerful guns, let alone the scopes that was added to them. with the new update, definitely brought some new opportunities. Definitely, I honestly couldn't wait to see how this update would have reshaped the esports scene in general. But of course, having the Meraki major literally 2 weeks away from that point, how would these teams adapt to the situation? Would they still use their old strats, or would they make use of these new scopes to their full advantage, and new mechanics and new hard breaches?
Yeah, given these new scopes, Split, what do you think of these new scopes compared to the old ones?
Of course, the new scopes brought up some great different angles. I always do feel like the two-time scopes one. So maybe sometimes in certain situations might have been a touch too much. But right now, with being a 1.5 and all these different possibilities, allowing it to almost be slightly perfect. But of course, for players who want to make use of these scopes, it definitely did change up their sense. Who never had that 1-to-1 ratio as they previously did. So a lot of players almost had to redefine their sensitivity, and from there, reshape the game entirely as they know it.
Yeah, I think that made it. I saw a lot of players complaining that they had to get used to this new sensitivity, figure out what their sense were, and that's something that is super important in Siege compared to other first-person shooters. At least in my opinion, when I play Siege, I'm way more wary about what my sensitivity is compared to if I'm playing, let's say, Warzone, for instance.
Especially from the game of Siege, of course, a lot of it is holding down angles, as you can see Swak holding his angle, taking down Kiko. But holding angles is not anything but Siege, not always about the bullet holes, but how you are able to flick perfectly, of course, headshot level, taking some friendly fire there from the Legion man. Unfortunately, of course, just making it out of plays, the beautiful plays by the Marshal, watching the different 90-degree hallways. Cloud, once again, break up the suitcase just to allow his way to see the difference. I can even say people walking past, maybe even to see drones easier when they come through. Of course, once we again, we do have second floor control. Of course, Psy being on second floor itself, but there's no point such a large building having everything out of control. But Swak once again pumps off a second kill against Ricky, really turning the tide of this round in favor of Phoenix. But Shadio once again taking out Nuno, currently in a 2v5 situation. Just as I said, that Cloud returning the favor, helping out his team, taking out Joystick, who of course is a very important factor, especially for Anchor himself.
Unfortunately, Sweet left in a very difficult situation here. I'm sure is not going to just push on in too quickly, as this is a time that can be used for his team to kind of just talk and reevaluate what they're doing. And that's exactly what we're going to see happen. Sweet just lie down on the roof, giving his team some time to just talk. They've got a minute left. They can now use this to figure out what they're doing wrong, figure out what they need to do to be able to pick apart this Phoenix defense.
We have seen previous players in the same situation almost bring him back, and if not win it. Of course, we've been a very aggressive player that he is. Of course, has the aim behind him, has the game knowledge, knows the mechanics of the game. He'll definitely make use of every different aspect. Having four of his, of course, teammates, I don't want to say back seat gaming in a negative point, but of course, helping him out, guarding him of sense to tell him what to do. Because Sweet getting out of the bait by the Valkyrie, thought it was a good opportunity to hopefully bring it back to a 1v4 situation. Unfortunately, could not connect the shots, and of course did not want to risk it just yet. Only 10 seconds left, not many opportunities. Gonna go just make some noise, hopefully having a player push up, maybe if anything get a couple of kills.
Yeah, I think, just really just wasting time so that they can get as much time as possible to be able to talk and figure out what is happening. They were able to, win the map against, or they were able to take Phoenix's map away from them, and now they don't want to have that same thing happen to them. They would love to go to a victory here so they can easily get into the finals.
Right now, going into round 4, unfortunately, it wasn't the best round for Team Pico. Of course, having so many players picked off 1-on-1. Of course, the teamwork, but of course, the defending side making use of the full level control, making use of all these different rooms, making sure they are using so many different rotated holes to easily maneuver around. Of course, if needed, move back towards sides. Going into round 4, interesting to see. There's barely any 6 picks, of course, of late, but might as well just hop straight into it and see what they have in store for us this time around. Going back to the second floor, let it be once again what we have seen previously between Trophy Room and Satori Room, where it was been important factors between astronomy and of course don't even forget the master bathroom. Walk-in and bedroom was, of course, was previously taken over by the attacking side. Maybe the defending side once again can, of course, they did win it, of course, in a 1v2 situation, but at this stage, maybe prevent full access towards it, prevents, of course, the diffuser going down behind the statue.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm sure Noxy is having a reimagination on the last time they were at the sites, clutching it out for his team. You know, sitting here with a 1-round lead on PYK's map, what do you think are going through the heads of Phoenix right now?
I mean, of course, this time around not having any technical difficulties. Of course, losing their first couple of rounds on their own map. This time gaining, of course, the advantage. At this stage, I mean, it could just be the opposite of what we saw in the first round, having their map but still losing. This time around, being the opposing team's map. Of course, winning the initial stage, of course, it isn't that much of a lead at this stage. If, of course, they want to, as Team Phoenix, want to win this map so they can take it into map 3 and, of course, win it and go straight to the finals. Can we see that play just yet? Or will they fall under the pressure that will be installed by Team PYK?
I always find it super interesting. You know, drones are so much more important when playing on the PS4s. Only because the people can't shoot the drones as easily. You know, you're able to drone a lot further into sight without, you know, I mean, you put your drone at risk of being shot, but most of the time you can kind of get it back out. Whereas, you know, playing on PC, the second anyone sees your drone, it's practically gone.
Once again, we'll bring up that Twitch was actually one of the first major picks within a tournament, but Meraki once again getting an initial peak against Swak. This is actually brilliant, turning the tiles in favor of Team PYK. But I actually did say, once we had Meraki taking all the different legions and of course utilities like the ADS systems, but the Jaeger drones coming into play. Legion just holding out towards Master Bedroom side on site, trying to prevent access. But of course, we did see the Twitch come in with the Twitch drones being an important factor to not, of course, break the defense utilities. Of course, still damage players, still be useful as a drone as information. Quite interesting how it all plays out. Players between bottom side are getting targeted, being pinned down, which of course is Valkyrie. Right now having two of the teammates pushing together. Third map going once again being Joystick, being that defense player we all know and love. Basically using his drone to full capacity, trying to find the players. Unfortunately, the attacking side was taken down by the beautiful Legion player, which of course being powered by Cloud. Holding his side, doing everything that he has to, providing opportunities for his team, gets drop shotted by the Sophia, who is being played by Noxy. Once again, we're in a 3v3 situation.
As Noxy falls to Joystick, they're left in a 3v2 situation. Shadia on just 50% health, but manages to down Joystick. Gets clapped himself. Ricky downs Electro, leaving it in a 2v1 with Joystick down. Shadia on just a slither of health, but gets finished up by Ricky. PYK take the round 4 back from Phoenix, bringing it back to a 2-2 situation.
Of course, been a very tight game once again, coming down to the final players. Trades are coming in. But of course, Team PYK once again showing how being aggressive, but also being able to drone out, be very cautious at the same time. Almost seems like I'm contradicting to myself, but it really is what this team's doing. Being super aggressive to get onto site, but from there, once again, being cautious, getting that crucial information, then going on full-on attack once again. Right now, Team Phoenix is honestly struggling to find a defense against us. We do have a 6-feet between the poles towards the Bandit, which is actually a very interesting choice. Of course, Pole's been super powerful on this map, can play from underneath. Then, as well, being a roamer himself to an extent, been able to hold down the first floor. Yes, of course, the attacking side always do enter towards Master Bedroom side, if there is, of course, towards Satori and, of course, Master Bedroom. But right now, we're going back towards Trophy Room and Satori Room, which of course did not go the way in favor of Phoenix, but they have realized it did work once. It didn't work quite so nicely the second time around. Might as well try it again. They know where the mistakes were made. They gave too much room towards Master Bedroom side.
You know, Shady is setting up the shield there for... I'm sure we're going to see the Legion play behind the shield. But, you know, great use. You know, they know that they've pushed that door multiple times whenever pushing the site. So trying to give more utility to the op that is going to try protect that area is definitely one way just to kind of benefit or help them, because it kind of changes the layout, you know. So as a attacker, if they're defending it in a very similar way every single round, you kind of realize where their strengths and weaknesses of that hold are. Changing it up just a little bit by adding a shield, you not only, like you can see, protect the bandit charges there from being shot quickly from door, but you give a little bit of cover to the operator, allowing them to peek and be slightly more aggressive on the wall. Swak getting punished for that aggressiveness by Ricky, leaving Pika in a 5v4 situation very early on into round 5.
Very interesting to see. Swak actually was playing off of a bullet hole. Most probably got pre-fired by the opposing team. Really well played by Ricky. Taking off such an important factor. Of course, like we did state, Bandit being one of the first ones to fall is not a major blow. Of course, you do need him in the later gunfights, but these utilities are placed. Player in, of course, in Bath being droned out, which is Cloud, being pre-fired by the window, currently stuck on a counter. Try to do as much as you can once again. We saw the same swap being played by the Valkyrie previous round. Now we got the attacking side of things, moving from Vault towards Start. Slowly but surely, we do have Nomad Jab being absorbed by the Wamar. Really well placed from that aspect. Well, Wamar, once again, like you did state before, being such an important factor, playing off that deployable shield and having such an amazing gun to back him up.
You know, trying to get it looks like Noxy taking a little bit of health damage there from the Ash charge below, and then the Ash just taking a couple shots through the floor. Noxy finally being taken down by Sweet, but gets traded coming out. Kiko and Nuno fall, leaving in a 3v3 situation. You know, Pika had a man advantage early into this round, but you know, just slight overextensions, and you know, we're back up to a big level.
Beautiful shots coming in by Electro. P-Fine picking ready while backing up his teammate who is Joystick. Once again, we'll see the same plan happening onto start behind Statue and in between Bomb, using everything that he can as cover. Ricky trying to provide access and provide cover, gets traded from behind. Unfortunately, the last player being Joystick in a very difficult spot. Shadia takes down Joystick, who try to overextend, try to push out. As you can see, the defending side having a very much hate towards the drones. Removing them straight from the side, even though they can't really do much at this stage. And once again, Phoenix takes round 5, giving them 1 round lead.
Phoenix really playing some dominant games and dominant rounds here, taking these rounds away from Pika on their own map. I'm sure this is slightly stressful for Pika, but being a very, I mean, I would say that this is a strong defender-sided map. Being on Pika's side, already winning 2 rounds, I would say that you're in a good position moving into the halftime round here. Hopefully, if they're able to go into halftime at a 3-3 situation, I think that puts themselves in a good seat or just chance to win this matchup 2-0.
As we can see, going into round 6, we see pretty much the same setup that we had before. Yes, honestly, it's a 50-50 at this stage if it'll work. These games are back-to-back. As said before, not one of these teams could get a massive lead off one another. At this stage, everything's been pretty tough. As we saw the last time on the console in the semi-finals, we went onto the third map, literally coming down into overtime, being 6-6 the last team to get a win. Of course, we'll make it straight towards the finals. Can we see something similar today? Or will we see just a landslide? But of course, our team Pika at this stage can still have a chance to win 2-0. Of course, Phoenix not out of it just yet, still holding their own. Being Velo, do you think on Vela, do you think it's more defender oriented, or do you think it does have the fair opportunities towards the attackers?
No, I think I think a lot of sites are very fair. I think that, you know, there is certain sites with specific operators. It makes that site slightly more, I guess, defender oriented. There's a lot of, I guess, ability for these defenders to be able to heavy roam, and I mean, I think that's very difficult to deal with as the attacking team. Then that being said, once you get the diffuser down, there's very few places that you can kind of set yourself up in to get ready for that, counter push by the defensive team trying to retake sites. So, I mean, you saw there they were able to get that diffuser down, but the second the diffuser goes down, they're easily able to pinch them. Being on either side of them, there, having one player in bedroom, one player on the opposite side of statue. It's yeah, I mean, I think it's a very difficult map for attackers overall.
Right now, we do see them actually the defenders taking a whole different approach towards study. And of course, games room, very interesting choice, especially to see how well it actually went for the previous round. To see how important this, of course, reading room will be held. We already do have Ash on main stairs, helping breaking up of course, the Maestro, allowing the Nomad who came from the balcony, along as Thatcher and a fellow teammate to go through. Ricky waiting for the Roma who is downstairs, which is Swak, who should cross the map, who might prove a hassle to Kiko playing Sophia. Right now, the beautiful thermal charge going down, being prevented by the smoke, of course, doing some massive damage towards Joystick, who has proved very successful once again. Thermite going in for the plant, which was bandit tricked. Can he do it once again? Swak takes on Kiko, which was a massive roam across the map, a massive fight that needed to be won. Once again, Swak found himself a second kill against Sweet, turning this tied into a 3v5. Just as I say, the Joystick taking on Shadio. Right now, it's pretty much even 3v4.
Phoenix really taking it to Pika on their own map. We're seeing he's about to get down by the Evil Eye here as the Evil Eye runs out of, well, I guess just burns out a little bit. But Joystick left on a slither of health.
Right now, using the Master R not only as a utility to find where the players are, but of course you down the player with the diffuser. You barely see that, especially in such a high level play. Electro found himself an evil R kill. Swak once again currently on a 3k, currently at the roam. Running around, ready for his team. It's so far from over. Nuno in such a bad spot, being cornered, gets a beautiful shot on Cloud. Currently in a 1v3 situation. Does not have many HP to work off of. The three defenders still much, of course, still pretty much full HP. At this stage, the Marshall R can do it once again. If he goes down the long hallway, if he's not too sure exactly where to go. The Fuser is down, only 4 seconds to go. Try to bait out the defending side, just try to get another kill. Unfortunately, cannot do so much in the situation. And of course, the damage throughout the overtime does not get carried through.
Well, I think Pika are. I mean, yeah, I guess Pika are probably pretty worried right now, into the I guess switching rounds. Phoenix leading 4-2. It's going to be fairly interesting to see if Pika are able to kind of bring this back and take their map.
I mean, like I said, currently we do have a player disconnecting. At this stage, make that too sweet as well. Is this going to be a rehearse because all the players are going? Yes, sir. It will be a rehearse for the map. Every player does have a rehearse, every team. So quite an interesting choice. Once we did see the rehearse take place, we did see, of course, both sides in a 2v4 situation. Right now, Team PK isn't looking as aggressive as we did see them before. I mean, doing such massive damage by Ricky. I mean, unfortunately, could not pull that throughout the rest of the round. I mean, Kiko has well been taken out in the previous round so early on was a major blow. Being played as Sophia, honestly, that battle across the map, in my personal opinion, was a deciding factor for how that round would have went. And as you can see, it definitely went in Team Phoenix's way. From there, just eliminating the players one by one in different situations. Of course, pushing from studies. From there, trying to work onto side was not in the favor. And that evil R about the Master definitely coming into clutch, providing that crucial information. Not only that, but doing so much damage onto the player who was trying to hold an angle to catch a player, which he saw previously, who he personally thought would try to push him while he was trying to shoot the camera. So obviously slight mistakes were made in a case, dropping Diffuser quite far away from the last teammates. Couldn't really do much of the time left remaining. Honestly, at map 2 so far, do you think we will see a win at this stage, or do you think it's still very early to state? Do you think we'll see a massive change once the different defending and attackers switch sides? And from there, do you think Team Pico will do a better job defending?
I think I mean, it's going to be very difficult now that we're just past half the time. We're going to see, the change up coming out here. We'll see what Pika can do on the defensive side. It's going to be pretty interesting to see. I think within the first, round or so of seeing if Pika can defend their sights, if they're able to feel comfortable when defending. It'll be interesting to see. I'm pretty sure within practically the first round of us going back in and seeing how Pika play the defensive rounds, we'll realize whether this is going to be a Phoenix win or not. And I mean, if it is, I mean, we go straight to map 3 between these two teams, which would be Consulate. Wouldn't be very surprised going to map 3 being a semi-final game. Both these teams have worked hard to get here. Both these teams have some incredible players. So it's not too surprising that we're having such a close game here.
Like you did say, both teams really did prove the points really why they deserve to be here. But going back to the team Pika, honestly forgetting one crucial role, that the dynamic duo between Nuno, of course, and Joystick, honestly playing off one another, being the last two to honestly deciding factors who wins the round. Clutching many of the rounds, if anything, bringing it very close in order to make them win. But right now, being a couple of rounds down, don't really have much say in what's going on. Obviously, just playing off Phoenix and falling into their strats, which we saw previously with Memento Mori making up their own strats, literally making the opposing team, which was ADK, play off of them instead of the other way around, which was planned previously. But once again, we have one player missing from both sides. At this stage, can't wait to see what both players have. Let's hope once again a player can join before the re-host time does conclude, and of course from there being in a 4v5 situation.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a very different. We saw a very different peak, I guess, play style there on that map comparing to their attacks on theme park. Theme park, they were, pretty methodical. They kind of stuck together. They got their refrags out. We saw a lot of drone utility being used. It seems like on theme park, they're not 100% comfortable. Seems like they're trying to peak things alone. We saw, many of the time we see, Sweet kind of swinging wide in a door, trying to get the pick off, whether it was the Wamai or the Legion, but getting punished for those and not having the ability to have a teammate to refrag. But it looks like everyone is back in the lobby. So it looks like we'll probably jump right back into this game and be able to see if Pika can adapt and have as good a defense rounds as Phoenix did.
I think without further ado, let's just hop straight back into it and see what is going to take place. Of course, see from there, continue where we left off on, of course, currently a few round lead, but anything major for these teams. Of course, have had some amazing comebacks in the previous attempts, in previous tournaments, even in previous games. Right now, going straight back into round 7, the sides, of course, change and beat in half time. Very crucial point for the re-host, especially like you said before, taking this time to rethink everything. Right now, of course, the bans are still set. And I think, once again, just looking back at the Vigil, do you think we did see Vigil being played quite a bit last time around on Theme Park? Do you think that was really one deciding factor, removing these very crucial players that, of course, these players love to play, very comfortable with, helping them win?
I think, I mean, it seemed as though Phoenix were able to adapt to the loss of Vigil. But I think, I mean, we're seeing the Valkyrie being brought out once again. Obviously, she was very powerful during this entire matchup. We saw Phoenix utilizing her cameras a ton, getting that information to their team so that they were able to, just, I guess, utilize that information correctly. That's a better way to say it. Um, Although that Legion pick could also be fairly important. We saw Phoenix playing Legion a lot, not just using his, I guess, traps to slow down Pika, but also using them as sound cues and ways to kind of warn yourself or warn your teammates of players flanking on certain sides.
Right now, going back towards kitchen side, rather interesting choice, especially being Diamond Room. We did see this side being heavily attacked, players falling relatively quickly. And once again, just going back to the previous round, I mean, we saw some very interesting drones, that very crucial drones that, of course, the defending side just ran past. At that stage, I wasn't too sure exactly what they were deciding. Of course, it's so easy to mess these drones, but Cloud currently in a beautiful spot for these drones, seen straight into, of course, only both bomb sites if, of course, the barricades doors never go through. At this stage, a lot of the pro players like to keep these doors open to allow them easy access on and off site, and possibly even from there to rotate out if needed. There's nothing worse when you're trapped into a room but you know you're being surrounded, and even fuse charges going off. The reason I'm bringing up the fuse because it was chosen beforehand. Once again, the pantry window being opened up, seen straight into clutch, have been a very crucial point. The attacking players being Phoenix this time around, sticking together, working off of one another.
Looks like we're going to see some aggressive kind of game style here by PYK once again. They're roaming fairly heavily. I believe there's only one person right now on site. The rest kind of either at a far to close room. You see Joystick and both Joystick and Kiko there on the sides, but Nuno down below, all the way down in basement, slowly rotating and making his way up. The entire team of Phoenix stacked up there by Master Bedroom.
Right now, just taking out drones. Unfortunately, could not find a play with that beautiful notch about sweet Ricky taking down Cloud. Now this, it could be the turning point towards in favor of Team PYK as well. Swak playing as Nomad gets tagged for 48 HP. Ricky holding a very tight angle, waiting for a play to wipe. He sees the barrel of the gun. Can he connect his shots? Yes, he can. Takes down Shadio right now. Currently in a 5v3 situation. Two of the Phoenix side is heavily tagged. Just say that Noxy is taken down by Ricky. Ricky on a triple kill right now. Can Ricky get an ace roaming around, having some of the players heavily tagged, which he implemented himself? He sees a Nomad cannot connect the shots. Of course, Swak playing around the metal cabinets, and of course, they're there as well. Using it to absorb the bullets, Electro not too far behind, taking on Sweet, turning it back to a 3v2 situation.
Absolutely great roam there by Ricky, really putting a lot of pressure on the attacking side. Both Electro and Swak taking a little bit of damage. Electro losing a lot of health here with that gas canister as his teammates gets downed and taken out by Nuno. Electro on a slither of health and 3 opponents in his way with 40 seconds on the clock. It seems like a round kind of lost to Phoenix. A round lost by Phoenix, taken by PYK. This could be the reversal that PYK needed, the absolute change that they needed to win this map.
Electro, only 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Gonna try rotate all around, go straight to pantry stairs. The only option he has pretty much to go onto sites and hopefully get all the kills. Defuse, of course, being dropped still early on within the game. Actually going for good pantry stairs, going straight towards main stairs, faking it out. He can't really do much. We've seen quite a few times from both teams. Unfortunately, stuck in a predicament where they can't actually get the shots down. Just try to get a couple of kills, if anything. Maybe get a lucky 3k. But unfortunately, of course, having such a powerful roamer above, which was Ricky, doing the most that round, getting out a triple kill, of course, tagging 2 of the opposing players as well. Just couldn't connect his shots towards the end there, but honestly, just buying time, only having 3 minutes to work with, time ticking down. Still at that stage, you only had a minute left. Being stuck on the top floor, still have to get the fuse to work your way around. Having your teammates, of course, on the defending side, holding side, doing their thing. Very difficult situation for the attackers.
A great defense there by PYK. They were able to really just pick all of the Phoenix players out around the site. I don't think any of the Phoenix players even got near site. They were just trying to deal with the roamers. And great roaming by Ricky, just putting a lot of pressure. They weren't able to catch him out. It was, I mean, he almost, it would have been incredible if he had gotten the pick off of Nomad there as well.
Once again, we're going into round 8, bringing back the games. Defenders are going back to the second floor. Very interesting plays. We've seen, of course, Team PYK being very aggressive on this side of the map, taking full control over Master Bedroom, going into the little closet from there, making a way towards Astronomy. Can Phoenix, of course, learning how aggressive they play, can they learn to do something similar, maybe even adapt to the situation, maybe even play from underneath, try to get some amazing kills. We saw the drone work coming in against Noxy when he was playing against Valkyrie, being sprayed down below by the Ash, being hit with the Ash charge. Not only that, but hit for about 99 HP. From there, trying to rotate away, running away from that same position where he was getting attacked from down below, being caught off guard by another attacker who's holding a very aggressive angle.
Looks like Ricky's rotating all the way downstairs once again. After such a great roam last round, I am not surprised that he looks to do something very similar. Looks like Noki's looking to push down. Oh, nope, never mind. Noki is busy repelling. It looked like she was going to try go down through arts, and I was like, well, they're going to get a surprise. Ricky's down there.
So yeah, once again, so they finally found Bomb B. Rather interesting situation. All players still very much alive. Still 2 minutes remaining, so plenty of time to work off of. Ricky, like you did state previously, basically roaming around 1 floor down below. It is a very important strategy, especially on Velo. Trying to work from 1 floor or taking full dominance of the top floor. Trying to identify where the roamers are still early on. I mean, if they can work their way from the bottom up, they'll eventually take over every floor and ensure that the last couple of players are either on the top floor or stuck onto side. We do have Noxy and, of course, the Thatcher working back to back. If anything, getting a trade, we see a beautiful angle by Ricky. Try to catch off a play, try to go into master bedroom. The drones coming into play with Kiko cannot find a shot to connect. Being pushed by player, basically pre-fire, and at least he has a deployable shot to hide behind. Throwing a 1 mile up above him in case the ADA systems do not make contact right early on. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how that shield might work against them. The 1 mile's going through, of course, being right above, absorbing the Thatcher and a flashbang. Nuno not too far behind, taking on Clout in favor of course, Team PYK4.
Formai doing a great job holding down the bathroom here as he gets picked out finally by Electro. The minute left on the clock, they open up the wall onto Bomb A, looking to go for that plant. Ricky finally getting the rotate off, getting shot onto the Sophia and finishing him off, taking out Shadia, leaving Phoenix in a 2v4 situation as SWAT tries to rotate back around, trying to get back behind Ricky, who has been just absolute monster on the roam here.
Ready shots being traded back and forth between Astronomy and Bathroom. Electro, of course, being a Phoenix player, taking on Joystick. Right now in a 3v2 situation, Electro found himself a triple kill for the round, taking on Sweet. And Swak not too far behind, taking out Nuno. There you go, Swak as well, finishing up, taking on Ricky once again, the second map, going in favor of Phoenix.
Phoenix, really just replying back to the victory there on the previous round by PYK4. Joystick now again losing connection, but I think the last rehost was by PYK4, so I don't think we'll see a rehost called unless Phoenix call it.
Very interesting turn of events. I don't think throughout the entire tournament we've seen so many rehosts, so many players having such difficulties. A very unfortunate time to have these problems. Honestly, with the luck of the players, everything was working perfectly this morning, and now as soon as they really needed to have everything correct, everything working just 100%, it wouldn't work out. We do have a 6-piece between Legion towards Mute from Kiko on the attacking side, keeping the players really knowing they have a full advantage, especially starting off the round with 1 player.
Great to see all the players. I know how much hard work these players have put in, and seeing it all come together is really great to see. It is very unfortunate with all the disconnects today. But, moving on, 5v3 situation. Looks like Phoenix is going to take PYK4's map, which means we'll go straight into map 3 if Phoenix finish this up. Unless PYK4 is able to win these 4v5s and get these defense rounds, it's a long journey for them if they want to win this map.
As we did see before in the previous semifinals, both teams really had to drag it out in order to secure the spot, being one of the best. But I think let's just take this time as well to thank the viewers once again for coming past, spending time watching these amazing teams go at it. I don't think you could have asked for an even tighter game between the semifinals themselves. Of course, the winner, once again, just a friendly reminder, of course, if they win, just make their way towards the final, and of course, have a chance to win the cash pool for the console side. As we see, making away from Phoenix in towards side. At least we have seen Team PYK4 being super defensive from their own anchors, and of course playing really well. Of course, having 5 players ready, 1 player going down, but turning back the tide into a 4v4 situation, a lot more winnable, a lot looking better for the team. Maybe Noonan at this point must just pull back instead of playing super aggressive. Shots are still going off across the map. As you can see, a few of the defenders holding together. Well, Ricky's playing right underneath. Possibly trying to get right behind, but do they know they have a Nomad? Of course, triggering this Nomad jab will do more than stun them. Diffuser goes down. This is the turning point for Team PYK, very important in such a difficult spot. Nuno really doing the most this round. But Diffuser down, Ricky has opportunity to play around, do as much damage as you can, takes down Cloud. Currently in a 2v4 situation in favor of Team PYK. At this stage we did have favor of Phoenix. Of course, Bean haven't really ever played advantage. But maybe it was part of the strat all along. Maybe having Phoenix's guard go down is making him feel a bit wary, but Diffuser has been picked up. Nuno not too far behind. A beautiful 360 by Swak taking down Nuno, bringing it back to a 3v2. Of course, Phoenix being a very strong team, which they are still far out of it. Swak playing a very defensive position, which we have seen Ricky play previously, where he was taken down. Right now in the 3v2 situation, still close games in later. Looking at Astronomy says, droning it out, busy faking out. Can the player on Astronomy just hold it, or will he feel the need to push up further?
Looks like Ricky's just going to hold and wait. Been absolute monster on the roam right now, and a thorn in Phoenix's side as a beautiful C4 comes out from Kiko, taking out Electro, leaving Swak alone against the 3. Final shots coming out by Kiko there, just getting 1 or 2 bullets, pulls out the shotty as he pushes, gets shot, misses the shots off onto the Nomad. Nomad on 50% health, Kiko downed, finishes him up, leaving in a 2v1 situation. It's a very important round for PYK here as Swak pushes on in to try to push towards the diffuser. Shots being taken out. Ricky still hiding behind the corner there. Sweet finishing it out and taking the round for PYK. Super important round for PYK right there.
Very amazing to see how tight these angles can be and how perspective really does help the individual player. A lot of the time, according to the situation, exactly how your opponent is very different to how your opponent sees you. Maneuvering your way around those archers walls is very important, and have done so beautifully. Still thinking that he was still far right from his situation. Had tried to limit himself to the 1v1. Unfortunately, was caught off guard, was shot in the back. Once again, we only have 1 round difference. Just a friendly reminder of if, of course, Team PYK wins this map, being the second map, which of course is their choice, or win the game, we'll take them straight to the finals. But of course, Phoenix, if they win this, will help them get into map 3. Will be anybody's game at that point. Some 6 pick, of course, on the defending side between Rook straight to the Legion, which of course I think a lot of players are expecting this whole fake between a Rook or a Doc. Aren't really the most important characters, especially with Dark with his yes, allows the players to have a little bit more HP, but still one-shot headshot, still a kill. And most of the time, if a player is down, they're pretty much instant finish. But from that point on, I don't really see much point for having a Dark. We have seen a Rook come out, especially when the console side from both teams have realized some of the shots aren't the best and they are landing more body shots than anything else. A Dark, I'm sorry, let me correct myself there, a Rook will come into play. Allowing a play does get down, of course, be picked up and absorb a little bit more bullets at a time.
Yeah, interesting to see that PYK go all the way back downstairs to the first site that they chose and easily took away from Phoenix. This is, again, I mean, it's just an important round for PYK in the sense of they need to stop Phoenix from getting onto match point, especially on their own map. It's a good map for PYK as well in the sense of, yeah, I mean, if they win, they're going through to the finals. Extremely close game between these two. It's been great to see how Phoenix have changed compared to the first map. You know, kind of remembering the different types of strats that PYK is going to utilize, the aggressiveness that they're going to utilize. They're trying to capitalize on it as much as possible. Is beautiful C4 coming out and taking away a lot of Shady's health. Unfortunately, not finishing him up, but yeah, I mean, practically just 1 bullet away.
I mean, that's also coming into play, ready below the quarter HP mark. given a major advantage so early on. Already still being a player down. Already can't have a re-hurts. Swak with beautiful shots coming in. Knowing that Ricky loves to roam, especially by the main stairs, does take him out. Conan rotated back towards his teammates. Honestly, at this point, take advantage of the advantage. Already having 2 players down. RB3 situation. Yes, drones coming in. 1 player's quad load themselves. But that doesn't mean anything sweet as well. Throwing a beautiful Nitro takes out the Claymore, which was, of course, been a major obstacle. Having 2 players in there, being the Thermite and then the Thatcher. A shot coming in by Sweet, taking on the 1 player, is caught off guard by the 2nd player, who was above. Really well played. Having the 3 players in a very similar spot, playing off of one another.
Great round here by Phoenix, slowly picking at, the defense of PYK. He runs out, realizes that he's going to go try and drone, gets picked up from that vertical play once again. The Buck really working hard up above, leaving Nuno in a 1v3 situation. Shady is still on that slither of health. The crazy jump down onto Nuno's bullets. Shady getting taken out. Noxy going for the plant as Swak watches over him.
Running straight into normal Jabus, of course, plays very carefully, faking the upstairs push, where he could have used the top, of course, the opening that was made previously. The fuser was, of course, faked out, now plays. Beautiful shots by Nuno, obviously tracking exactly where the player would move as he would be in a situation. He's obviously playing how he would, obviously shattering the defense by the ones previously at the attackers. The attackers just pulling back, playing off one another. Shots coming in. Nuno gets heavily tagged. Currently over 26 HP. Pistol out. Gun in hand. Shots being missed. Can he pull it through? Unfortunately, the shots do not connect. And Phoenix take the round, leaving him into the next round being match point.
Phoenix on the match point on PYK's map. PYK taking Phoenix's map. Looks like we're going to a 3rd map, Let.
Well, at this point, it's still early stages. We can still possibly go towards overtime. We've seen Team PYK, of course, now being 2 players down is rather unfortunate. But we have seen them win a 4v5. We've seen some beautiful plays coming with the Nitro Soul. Maybe they can pull it back with a Nitro Soul. Maybe a few lucky shots. But a Malusi coming in, honestly, one of the most overpowered operators, especially in a competitive scene. Getting 6 picked, honestly, being a big pain towards the attackers, actually maybe be a bit intimidating as well, making use of the Legion traps to their advantage as Sound Q, of course, slowing down the enemy and causing slight damage. Once again, from there, being faked out towards the smoke. Smoke can honestly do so much. Has a deployable shoulder, has a great shot, and has a great gun. They can do damage with his smoke canisters, prevent access towards the sides, and much more.
Yeah, I think, at this point, PYK are going to have to be very aggressive. And I'm sure we can expect a very aggressive push here from Phoenix, trying to just finish up this match so they can get to that 3rd map and hopefully clutch it out there. PYK left in a very unfortunate situation to their players disconnecting, especially in a tournament. I know how, saddening that must be for these teams, especially because they've worked so hard.
Still far from over just yet. Of course, going back to the fight, a very difficult situation while defending, but I think rather have a few players short on the defending side compared to the attacking. Because of once additional hold start, let the players come to you instead of maneuvering away around roamers and having 2 less players to drone out. We did say these drones are very important, having 4 drones less, and of course holding these different spots, especially being Vela, such a big map, you can't really do much without us in the additional drones. And you see our players moving towards side, getting access to the 1st floor, making their way slowly but surely 1 floor at a time. Shady are currently just open up the different windows. From there, just adding additional threats towards the defending side. Nuno playing really well behind bar, going towards Vault side, supporting his teammate Ricky, basing on some amazing ADS systems, which we can see flashbangs, which have been used greatly by the Phoenix side in order to win the round.
Great shotgun play coming out here from Kiko. Bring it back down to a 4v3. You can see that 2 of the players are sitting on site as Noxy takes some great shots, taking out Kiko, who was on the roam. I believe that was that a C4 that just came out there?
And Nitro Soul indeed came past, doing some massive damage. As you can see, the banner being taken down in the 1v4 situation. Ricky has left, of course, Cloud taking out, winning the round. Very interesting turn of events. Of course, in favor of the Phoenix side, we're going into our third map. Team PYK taking map 1, which of course was Theme Park, which was Phoenix's choice. Turn of events coming to map 2, being Vela, being PYK's choice of map. Once again, we're going straight into the semi-finals. Very interesting. Many disruptions between the different games, so many re-hosts as well. This time around, can we see our final third map being almost perfect, straightforward, and maybe even one way for one team, being Consulate? I don't think either team had prepared properly towards going to map 3. Of course, really banking on winning not only their map, but the opposing team's map.
Yeah, it's funny to think that Pika stole Phoenix's map, and then Phoenix paid the favor back and stole Pika's map. Now they're left on the decider, Consulate. A really great map overall. Very, I mean, I would say that it's a very fair map. A lot of teams love playing Consulate. Do you think that this is something that these teams have prepped for? Do you think that Consulate is something that I'm not sure if you have watched either one of these teams in previous matchups, but are any one of them, super comfortable on Consulate?
I mean, of course, both teams, of course, would have prepared for map 3. Maybe not as much as their own personal map, and of course, the opposing team's map, of course, banking to win the first 2. But map 3, of course, will be there. Maybe not the best map for either side. Of course, with the time restrictions, of course, a very short notice to see if they would win. You won't prepare for further matches ahead, of course, if you don't make it through. But right now, players are currently being invited. Seeing how Consulate is, honestly, I'm quite excited. I don't think we've actually seen a Consulate map come through. Of course, we had it for a third map option, but at this current stage, us personally, us as the co-casters, our duo, we have not seen Consulate be played. Quite interesting. Of course, being to the third map, which players on which side have not been decided just yet. It will be randomized. And like I said, it comes down to which teams will be, I don't know, the less technical difficulty at this stage. Both sides played really, really well. Of course, Phoenix being the more, I don't know, feared team of course, one of the main 4 out there right now. Team PYK, of course, having a lot to prove right now, playing really, really well. First map taken it pretty easily. Second map, unfortunately, falling short towards the end there. But honestly, Kudi, at this stage, going into the Consulate, honestly, are you excited to see a brand new map, especially on the console side of things that we haven't casted just yet? Or do you think we're quite I don't want to say quite a problem as for us just to see the strats coming through, because we haven't actually had the opportunity to see this map come out.
I mean, this is going to be our first time casting this map. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure we're going to struggle just a little bit. Fortunately, we know the map, and because we played this game, we should be, kind of okay in general for the basic strats. I think when it comes to, just different holds, different sites to protect, we should be fine. But I'm super excited to finally see a new map. At least it's not Organ, because we have just been really just casting Organ a lot. But being the most picked map in Rainbow Six Siege, I'm almost not even surprised. So it looks like all of Phoenix is already in the lobby, but Pika just struggling with connectivity issues tonight.
Honestly, first out of round, I'm pretty sure. I think Phoenix were unfortunately at the disadvantage in the beginning. Things are turning around. I mean, of course, both sides have lost players, but right now, of course, being the most recent. 2 players lost connectivity towards Team PYK side. Right now, the only player is, of course, the captain himself from there just to get players in. Of course, only having a set amount of time to actually start the game. Of course, like from the ban phases on this map is quite interesting already. I mean, we saw some quite interesting things. We saw Ella come out between the 2 maps. Well, we see Ella once again with the brilliant shotgun and, of course, Ella mods. Once again, I really do believe Mira is quite a powerful operator on this map. Yes, in certain spots she won't be as useful, but I mean, she can definitely hold her own. Especially having a Nitrosol in hand and her own shotgun to make this little rotates if needed, or possibly even opening up for a Nitrosol play.
Yeah, definitely. I expect to see at least we've seen a Kaid ban, I think twice now, between these 2 teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Kaid ban. We did see, I mean, we saw the Frost being utilized quite a bit on that first map. And yeah, I mean, like you say, them taking out Ella constantly, to me, I mean, that, and I'm sure we're going to see a Jackal ban here. That also would be, not too surprising.
course, having something similar across the other maps, having 3 floors, having a basement, middle floor, and of course the top floor. From there, we have seen these teams from time and time again to roam right to the bottom. Of course, even attack from the bottom, work their way up, just depending on the situation. Top level control, I think on this map especially, there are some certain rooms where you can obviously shoot through, have some nades coming past, having some natural plays, but a lot of it is, of course, hard and, of course, can't be penetrated from down below. I think spiral stairs will be seeing quite a bit of action today. Quite a very important factor. Going straight to the top, going straight to the bottom. Only having a few other side stairs to go through. Of course, far right towards admin, and then far left towards the garage itself. Already have 3 players in from Team Pico. Let's just hope the other few can connect before the time ends. Of course, there is a cap of how many minutes that you can get. Of course, being a professional scene, we do take this thing quite seriously. And just to provide as I don't know, realistic opportunities as we can at this stage in South Africa, as you would expect in the bigger leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I think just overall, we've seen some incredible gameplay coming out of the South African leagues. I look forward to us finally taking things international. There's definitely, I want to see teams like ATK, teams like Momentum Mori, competing internationally against these larger teams, because I truly believe that we have what it takes to compete against these teams.
We could on that same note, I mean, the network you try to build, especially through your sites and everything, being Barbie network, providing opportunity for even international exposure for these South African players who are trying to make a name for themselves, if anything, trying to make a career out of it. I think in South Africa, especially in the set we are in now, it's pretty, I don't say it's near impossible because we do have teams going at it. We did have the Bravado side. CSGO going overseas. We had South Africans, of course, being traded out in the past. We even see some of the big names out there that we all know and love.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I really think one of the biggest benefits is we have a lot of young esports players in South Africa trying to get out and, I mean, both study, but, study and do what they love. And what a lot of these people love is working in the esports industry. With the amount of money that the US is pumping into their university esports, they're paying for players to like live and practically go to school just to play certain games. So the university I'm at, they have a Rocket League team that get paid to go to school. They pay for their housing, they pay for their food, they give them a monthly salary, and these players are from all around the world. But we don't see any South Africans in any of the university teams here. So hopefully, I mean, what we're hoping as Viber Network is to kind of get that connectivity going, get that networking going, and help our players find these contracts, find these opportunities to go overseas and study and play and, just get better opportunities in this industry.
Well, it's pretty awesome, especially seeing what we are trying to do in South Africa. I think being limited to quite a few of the games, only having select servers. At this stage, of course, being in the Southern Hemisphere, South Africa was chosen to have the siege servers. Of course, took a few years to be implemented. Obviously, waiting through different deals, of course, contracts between the 2 companies. Right now, we have all the players. I think before we continue with what we were discussing, I think let's hop straight into it. Let's get these teams the opportunity to perform on the last map and see who is going to be the semifinals, will go to the finals and represent themselves and, of course, their team. I think without further ado, let's hop straight into the third map, of course, which is Consulate, but which at this stage will be decided who will start on which side, defense or attack.
Great to see that everyone in both teams was able to load in here. Hopefully, their connectivity just holds out for a full map here so that neither team have to play at a disadvantage.
Like you just say, it's rather unfortunate. Let's just hope we don't see something like a repeat of this later on when we have the PC side of things where the same thing will happen. But right now, I think I'm quite excited. Seeing what amazing turn of events yesterday was. Seeing how great this game was already. Seeing what it can still be. I mean, it's still far from over. This is literally whoever wins the next upcoming rounds. Can we see a 7-0? Would it be another close game? 7-4? All comes down to how these players perform underneath the pressure. This is literally the winner takes all and have a shot to winning the cash prize towards the end.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot on the line here. Looks like everybody is readied up. I'm super excited to see, who we see on the banning side of things, and excited to see what these teams have in store for us during this matchup. Excited to see if Pika play as aggressive as they have been over the past 2 maps, especially seeing Ricky on the roam in our previous map. I'm sure we'll see it once again.
There we go, underway into our third map, of course, being Consulate. As you can all see, it's one of those maps that, of course, very difficult to hold and attack. Quite interesting to see all the different windows available, peeking towards outside. So many access from the outside towards the inside of the building. A lot of course, the windows being played. Can we actually see another fuse being picked, mainly because of how powerful he is with all these breachable windows. And I would love to see exactly what the Scarlet battle will be above main stairs, and of course there towards just outside press room, of course going towards garage stairs. These are very important things that we can expect. Once again, we have a Thatcher being banned, and so it is very important, especially at this distance where you can break the defender's utilities. And through the attack inside, I won't be surprised once again if we have maybe even something crazy like a Blackbeard being picked, especially to see how many windows can be peaked, especially at head, heart. But of course, the Jackal coming in for the third time, if I'm not mistaken, just so that Romans have the opportunity to go across, do what they have to do, having so many stairs to work off of. Of course, having 3 stairs going up, 3 stairs going down, providing that defending and attacking side opportunity to maneuver around the map.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see that that's a ban coming from Phoenix, given that they were penalized a lot for the roaming ability from Pika that we saw on the previous map. You would expect that they would want a Jackal to be able to kind of get rid of those heavy roamers. The Wamaibat coming out, we saw Wamai being played a lot in the previous map, and a clash, something we haven't even seen a clash being played yet today by either one of these teams, and this is the first time we've seen her banned.
Really interesting choice. Like I said, the clash really coming in. We have seen a couple of times, of course, being team killed by of course the same teammates, but Braden, such a powerful operator, preventing such leeway towards the defending side, using her as movable cover, even going out, preventing access, could even put an amazing play towards garage side of things. But at this stage, I think a pretty safe bet. Being such a strong operator that she is, having an amazing gun, having a shield on the back, just being able to prevent access to rooms and even slow down players with a brilliant zap. Honestly, I couldn't say more. Once we go towards the Legion as a 6th pick, towards Legion once again, faking out by Kiko. Very interesting choice. We really do see Phoenix holding back on the 6th pick, pretty comfortable, letting the opponents know who they are picking. Maybe they will throw them underneath the bus in the future with a 6th pick.
Yeah, great to see. I mean, Legion, we saw a lot of Legion gameplay in the last map as well. Just a very strong operator overall, not just for the ability to slow down the attacking side, but to also feed that information back to the defending side.
Hopping straight into it, going straight to the bottom. Of course, very interesting, going towards garage and cafeteria side, having so many different rooms to worry about, so many hatches, of course, on this map. At least with the garage, I think one is connected towards bathroom, and only if they had a K to work over, which they actually do. But honestly, K could rather be used somewhere else, like garage doors. At this stage, probably would block off garage doors, using one of these Ks there, and of course, garage hatch, which would be important to hold it, because there's nothing worse than having players coming from above in press room, open up those different rooms, and then working their way down. I mean, so you're honestly limited to a certain spot within garage, which will of course provide you cover, and then from there expose you if you do tend to move around.
So we're seeing a heavy roam once again coming out by Ricky, who we even saw in last map, far away from sight. The ability to roam, slowly pick out these attacking operators. He's been very good at taking a couple shots at the attacking team and then, re-evaluating what was happening and moving his position so that, it just makes it so difficult for the attacking side.
Right now, busy watching the hatch within bathroom. Quite an interesting choice, of course, playing above, using the hatch to advantage within the main room, the main lobby. Capital does, of course, notice that no, there isn't a player there. Only seen a player who is, of course, on the bottom of Spiral, who was using the camera to his advantage, is taken out. Joystick holding a very interesting angle. Will you be able to prevent any access from down below? Who people who are rotating towards main lobby. He is, of course, at this stage, the first line of defense. We have seen him be an amazing defender, holding different sides. quite interesting to see how the dynamic duo we were holding side quite interesting before, being one of the front lines. Team PYK definitely changing up things for the best. Maybe not always the correct, I don't want to say strat-oriented decisions, but they definitely do their best and perform. Kiko taking down Noxy straight off the back. Garage doors are of course open up. The diffuser was down, currently pick up Panna. Unit getting Panna down. As soon as he got the diffuser, both sides are open. Diffuser is stuck right in the open. At least Capital so much alive, he can shoot down a couple of his smokes, maybe retrieve the fuse and then from there move around. As I said, that swag, Canadian Capital is down to 52 HP, currently still in a 3v5 situation.
You know, the diffuser is down in a very awkward spot. I think Phoenix are going to struggle trying to get this one back. Cloud finishes it up by taking out Kiko. Ricky takes out Swak as Ricky then falls to Clout in the refrag, and Electro finishes up that engagement. Leaving them in a 2v2 situation, they push straight on through. The Buck running through, taking out the Mozzie on Yellow Staircase, leaving Joystick alone against both Clout and Electro. Great shots off onto Clout, leaving Electro and Joystick in a 1v1 situation. Electro does have the diffuser, but is on a slither of health. He looks to peek the door that the Jaeger is holding. He sees the gun barrel, goes for the pre-fire, and able to get those shots off onto Joystick. Great round there by Phoenix, clutching it out from a bad situation, from a 3v5 situation. They were able to pull that one all the way back.
Seeing how many players really fell from outside, being the Thermite, and I can't actually record that second player. So honestly, being such important players, having the diffuser out in the open in such a very difficult spot to, of course, recover, but having the two players coming from main lobby, working their way around towards that, making use of all the different hatches that they are, of course, bringing it back at this stage. Once again, of course, building some confidence in favor of Phoenix, who are on the attacking. Noon, of course, did really well around. Honestly, was expecting them to bring that round towards them, but we do have a six pick between the Sophia towards the Nomad, but Noxy, who was taken out fairly early last game. At least with the Nomad, they are aware of players now, of course, roaming around. Quite an interesting fact that I just realized there's always at least two players on site, and most of the majority of the other defenders, if it be 2 or 3, roaming around. I mean, once again, if they can work their way up to the bottom, eliminating those players still early on, then from there, going towards side, sandwiching the last couple of players, which we have seen Team PYK do brilliantly before. Unfortunately, towards Villa, they could not do it so nicely. Of course, not really being their map, maybe not really one they were expecting to have such a close game on. But there we have two players, being the Vigil and his teammate blocking off the bathroom hatch. Once again, going straight down to Garage, it's important to hold.
Great utilization by I'm still like trying to re-watch round one there, won by Phoenix, bringing it back. Really shows that these you know, even though they were in such a bad situation, sitting in a 3v5, they kept calm. They opened up Garage, they moved in slowly, they collected Diffuser, slowly picking out away at PYK's defense. It's just really great to see these teams playing on such a high level here.
Once again, making a way towards side. You see Swag open up once again through main lobby, working away towards Garage, of course, facing such a very close game last time around. Then use something, of course, once again, a very similar strat. Joystick playing right above Spiral. Then from there we see Nuno playing as Cade. Seeing the operator's feet, cannot really do much. We see a Twitcher coming in, gets taken down, at least that information is provided. Rotating around, I think they, at this stage, they are avoiding Garage doors at this stage, maybe leaving it for later on after a few picks have been made, once a central push can be made.
Everything goes silent as everyone is droning for information. None of the roamers are really peeking anything. As I say that, Clout gets into a gunfight here and loses a lot of health. I believe that was Ricky that was on the roam. They're getting those shots off. Ricky just sneaking around, making sure that these attackers never feel 100% safe or secure wherever they are on this map.
Right now making the final push towards side, so all players alive. Only a minute and 25 seconds remaining. Really playing right above, been a very dangerous spot. Getting taken down from the floor down below. And of course, Joystick taking a Cloud. Now it's a 4v4 situation. Both players being dropped. At least Cloud, who was super low previously, is traded out for play, who was full HP. Now, once again, only a minute remaining. We've got a beautiful nitro coming from Nuno, who notices a player right above. Not too sure exactly where, busy holding back, trying to support his teammate Legion. We, of course, got a wild pick from the attacking side. We took down the Cade charges right now, providing another Cade charge being placed on Garage Shores, preventing Thermite from doing his thing. Players on wide stairs making their way down.
They just managed to get rid of Ricky all the way upstairs, and now Joystick was on the road but loses his life as Kiko gets downed. Sweet falls once again, leaving them in a 2v4 situation, and Kiko gets finished up. Nuno left in a 1v4, Noxy on a slither of health, but the rest of his team looking absolutely brilliant. Panna going at the plant down. Nuno tries to reply, takes out Noxy, but gets taken out once again by Electro. Phoenix replying in 2 rounds in a row now, showing that they are here to go to the final.
Really interesting how everything is turning in favor of Phoenix. Currently with a 2-0 lead. I mean, right now it's not looking too good for Team PYK, but once again, so early stages, really close games. Ella is being played, but Sweet, really looking forward to. I think it's been a long time waiting to play Ella. Already been one of those operators being banned across both maps. Seeing how everything has changed over the past 2.5 hours, having the opportunity to finally bring Ella out and see why she's such a feared operator, especially with the guns in hand. Where SMG is not the greatest, but having such a powerful shotgun, especially with all the soft walls and hatches that she can maneuver around and open up and provide opportunities not only for herself to get kills, but as well for as a support character with her elements providing a little bit of leeway for her teammates.
Yeah, having her banned on the first 2 maps, I believe that Phoenix were the ones that banned her both times as well. So interesting to see that Sweets is the person that ends up picking her up. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure what her loadout is. If you're able to show us any of that, that'd be great. It sounds like she has that shotgun. So it should be very interesting.
Right now, making sure that the rotator holes are coming in place. We've seen some couple of unfortunate incidents where the teammates were taken out, especially by Mero for shotgun, trying to open up these different holes. But honestly, at least this time around, we see a brilliant Valkyrie camp coming into play here by Nuno. Valkyrie's one of those operators I think is obviously overlooked, especially to see how it can easily be countered by an RQ. This time around don't have an RQ, and honestly in such a difficult spot with so many foliage by the trees, it can be difficult to spot. I can see the players coming in, maybe not necessarily to spot the players, but just to provide that key information. So many windows have been opened up, providing such a big threat towards the teammates. Currently looking for that Valkyrie drone, which is currently marking them, being additional pain. Noxy being shot by the window, currently bleeding out and taken down by Nuno with a brilliant nitro. Of course, being a Valkyrie, having all that information to herself, playing off, knowing that another player is dropped down below, which is the back, holding the angle, holding the window, ensuring that no one tries it again, really putting it back right now. But we have seen so many Phoenix players fall down pretty early, but still pull it back towards the end. Can Team PYK use this initial lead to their advantage?
Yeah, Pika really needing a round here on the board to make sure that Phoenix doesn't run away with their attacking strats here. Joystick trying to hold on top. Realizes that they're trying to push down. I mean, they're trying to drone him out completely, but with 2 ADSs there, should be fairly safe.
Right now, just making use of all the time. Brilliant angle by Ricky, trying to find a player who's currently going above, currently voting. Unfortunately, Ricky does spot him, does connect his shots, taking him on Clouds. Actually not too far behind, playing as Twitch, takes out Nuno. Shots are going back and forth, currently in a 4v3 situation. Electro busy pre-firing through the building. Trying to find a player who can possibly be behind a soft wall, see the deployable shot, a big threat. That soft wall between the two sides is very crucial. Of course, being on that window, exposing yourself in such a dangerous situation. Ricky trying to find a second player, jumping out the window. Shot coming out, he cannot connect. Going back out. Brilliant play by Ricky, taking out Swak. Unfortunately, once you are grappled, you are limited to how far you can look forward. Moving back by Ricky was a very smart move, but of course, Ricky be taken out by Panna, who was trapped outside. 2 players in main lobby looking towards Hatch to possibly turn the tide and make it into a 2v2 situation.
Super aggressive game style coming out here by Ricky, but you know, I mean, we've seen it all game so far, and it's really been working for him. We're constantly mentioning his name. He's constantly on the leaderboard. Some really good shots by him, and some guess good movements here as Electro tries to push up the staircase. The Ella with their shotty holding tight onto the doorway, finishes it up. Sweet takes out both Electro and Panna with that incredible shotgun.
Honestly, this is why Elo was banned previously. Close range shotgun in hand is nothing you can really do unless a pre-fire comes into play. But even then, being on the stairs, your angle is pretty weird when you're aiming towards the door and Elo already coming up the lead again, making the plays happen. This is what Sweet's been waiting for all day, bringing back one round, making it 1-2. Honestly, preventing Phoenix having such a massive lead so early on is all they need to do.
Great to see them coming back at this. It's definitely a round needed by PYK4. It'll be interesting to see now if they're able to capitalize on this little bit of momentum that they have going here on Consulate. The Ella once again being brought out by Sweets. Not surprising given the impact that she made on that last round.
Right now going into round 4, pretty interesting turn of events. Can't wait to see exactly how it plays out as we see Vigil making a rotate hold towards, of course, red side. Going towards, gonna hold above server, gonna be the main lobby. Very interesting to see how amazing these teams are playing and how we see a duo team between the Bandits and Cade. Honestly, this is all you need to do. Choose 2 operators that are meant to be banned, especially on such a powerful map when they do hold Garage. I mean, both those operators will hold. That top 4 will honestly be the only next choice. Garage is such a powerful defense point for the defending side. But of course, if taken seriously, the attacking side can obviously pull it back. Having the Twitch drain once again to break this ban charge has been a big pain towards the Bandits, taking away so many possibilities for that. And if Cade does throw his Cades above the hatch, he won't be able to retrieve them if they're too far above him.
Great to see. Looks like they've opened absolutely all of those windows, trying to throw the attackers just a little bit off, maybe slow them down just a little bit. The Nomad being used now after so much usage by Ricky in just being able to rotate around the map so quickly and so fast. It's incredible to see. Great gameplay here by the Kaid, timing it perfectly, but getting it pulled off by the Thermite, who then has to worry about bandit tricking as well. A super powerful defense coming out here by PYK4. It's going to be very difficult for Phoenix to be able to push through Garage here.
Right now, plays happening. Noxy already been tagged ever so slightly, one shot to connect. Panna playing behind the car, pre-firing towards Van, trying to find a play behind the soft wall. Cloud takes on Sweet. Important factor, especially if you see how last round went, clutching up the last couple of kills, winning for the team. Phoenix looking pretty strong right now on Garage. Here's above them being opened up by the Buck. Natural in hand, obviously being pretty close to himself. Trying to find a play where he went. Unfortunately, could not connect, making another hole for the players to play off of. And this is in the corner, can't really do much harm from that position.
Ricky once again showing up in the kill feed, finishing it out onto Noxy, bringing it back down to a 4v4 situation. That Ella taken out of play, who was just so important and utilized so well in the previous round. Garage being opened up and Ricky holding tight onto the breach here. Electro trying to push slightly in as Nuno gets downed and taken out, but kills coming out from PYK4 as he finishes it up onto Klaus. Still sitting in a 3v3 situation. These teams are just going back and forward as Swak loses a lot of health and eventually his life as Joystick finishes him out. Electro brings it back down to a 2v2 as he takes out Ricky, one of the main fraggers for PYK4 right now. Looks like Electro has been down just outside of breach here, but it looks like he might actually be able to pick him up before PYK4 gets those shots off. Sitting in a 2v2 situation, Looks like Electro is on a slither of health, but looks like they're going to try and go for the plant here, right behind White Van. Electro covering as Panic goes for the plant. Kiko peeks wide around Yellow, pushes down. Looks like he has managed to finally pick off Pana. Electro with a slither of health left has to fight against two. Joystick gets the final shot off to Electro, and they're going to get the defuse off and bring it back to a 2-2.
Right now, really brilliant clutch, but of course Team PYK winning against Phoenix. We did get the bomb plant down from there, clutching it up, taking it back to 2-2, like you did state, Kuru. But what an amazing point how everything has turned. Going to map 3 once again, seems like we have a close game on our hands and no team has any leeway. Can't wait to see exactly how to turn out events, especially towards halftime. Will the consistency remain, or will halftime be the point where one team will run away with the game and of course make it towards the finals? As you can see on the screen, we do have the stats coming up. You can see how amazing the synergy between the players are coming through. All the assists, not always about kills, but especially what the operators can do for one another.
We see the Ella once again being brought out by Sweet. Again with that shotgun, the sixth pick coming out here, bringing, I guess, Twitch to Twitch. The Twitch being used a lot in that last round to help get that breach opened up. You see the Nomad again coming out by Phoenix here. I'm not surprised given the heavy roam always being utilized here by Ricky, but going to a very different bomb site to what we normally see. It's going to be a very interesting hold here. I don't think I personally don't know any strats to hold this area, so it's going to be super interesting to see the castle being utilized to cover up those windows, so that defenders are able to rotate in and out of sight without being peeked all the way from door.
5 seconds remaining.
As you just said, quite an interesting bomb hold. Of course, just barely winning garage, not really have much of a choice exactly where to go. Want to avoid the second floor as much as possible at this stage. Especially how when previously it is working, might as well keep the strats going. Pretty much similar strats, especially thinking it is right at the bottom. Once again, garage is reinforced, preventing an initial enter point. If anything, allowing the attacking team to waste one of the thermite charges. Of course, Ryu is being currently played by Pana. And if anything, we have to get out, first of all, most importantly, the Twitch drones must be taken out. And right above the initial office, especially in archives, we have quite a few hatches there. One directly going to archives, one going into electric room, and one going in archives corridor. These will be very crucial points to ensure that they are reinforced and held. And we see the droning coming in, catching the Jaeger off guard, who is in cafeteria at this point.
Both of these teams in a do or die, sitting 2-2 in the third map now to try and fight to finals as Cloud takes some incredible shots down onto Kiko. Looks like Phoenix has full control now over the garage side as Sweet looks to rotate using the third floor rotate all the way back down on yellow stairs. We'll see if that rotate and flank works, especially with the usage of Nomad there. Nuno rotating down spiral staircase to support Ricky. Looks like it does start to seem like PYK are starting to gather together to try and collapse down onto that Phoenix attack.
Right now, Swag takes down Nuno, turning back to a 3v5 situation. Two of the Phoenix players, of course, heavily tagged, just barely above 20 HP. Shots getting traded towards the Pulse, who's currently being played as Joystick. Returning back to start, probably the best play, especially having the whole range work of already taking down the Nomad, who was previously on start. Bringing back to a 2v4 situation, Shock takes down Ricky. Right now, we get back to Sweet Cow, who currently playing as Ella with the brilliant shotgun in hand. Joyce will try to support Ella as much as he can while she's currently retreating back to this main floor. Joystick with 1 HP, Hannah as well 4 HP. Can he spot out Joystick? Going for the defuse. This is perfect opportunity for Joystick to bring it back. The Cloud to literally around the corner, securing the plant, taking on Joystick, and therefore Sweet as well taken down. Right above the sides, we unfortunately could not hold, not only defend side, but finish it up towards the end.
Great round there by Phoenix to take that away from PYK as we move into round 6 now. Again, we're seeing the Ella being brought out by Sweet. Powerful shotgun being utilized there in the last remaining seconds of that round, but not being enough to clutch it out for the team. Electro getting some beautiful shots off. And the utilization of the buck there was absolutely perfect to be able to cover their team member while the plant was going down.
Once again, Phoenix takes the initial lead. Kiko faking out the Frost, which became a very important deciding factor in the first map, going towards Legion. Honestly, Phoenix had no answer towards the Frost, who was played by Nuno. He has been a different player, still faking it out. Sweet once again, ensuring that Ella is being played, as he's pretty sure he'll probably be countered to it once the sides do change. But very, very interesting, making use of every little bit of the round that they can. Getting those initial peaks, I think, really are important. Once again, we're going straight to the top floor, where they, of course, was a very interesting point of view. Of course, they did win it this time around, but will they be able to do it again? Open up a bunch of different winners to add as additional threat towards the attacking side, worry about different spawn peaks, and of course, going towards side, having all these different angles to worry about. We have seen Nuno play in the same position before as Valkyrie, throwing the Valkyrie cams into the tree in order to provide her information, where she did throw it down. Or actually, when she did down someone, but for Ghana didn't. Of course, pulling out the Nitro Cell, finishing it up later on within the round.
Great to see that PYK are really utilizing their roam heavy strats here that we've constantly seen. Ricky again on the roam. He's really been just a powerful player so far in this matchup. A player that I think Phoenix has been struggling to try and deal with.
Right now we see the Valkyrie going onto camp, trying to find that crucial information that will be needed because the default cameras outside have been taken out. We see the droning work, but the attacking side as well, just in order to provide them with information. I'm pretty sure the attacking side will be very crucial now. We already see Pana jumping straight in as Thermite into Vaza office, of course. Now we're going straight above Kiko, taking out Swag. Very interesting turn of events. Already have full access towards Aaron, watching the stairs, but Kiko and Ricky working together back to back, having a whole hallway to worry about. Of course, behind the counter, just on main stairs, if we have a player on Skylight that can possibly trap someone in, possibly even find a player off guard behind the counter. Nuno once again is holding her own as Valkyrie, and I see Noxy taking on Kiko, bring it back to your 4v4 situation. Once again, we have a close game on our hands. Nuno been heavily shot back from Copy Room.
Extremely aggressive game style here by both Sweet and Nuno, who have lost 50% of their health in that fight. The shotgun coming out extremely powerful there. Finally, two Phoenix players fall as Cloud picks up the joystick, leaving it in a now I guess a 1v2 situation as Ricky is down. Sweet utilizing that powerful shotgun, and Nuno finishing it out onto Noxy. Klett, that shotgun is incredible.
At first, I was really confused why Ella would be banned, especially so early on, but we have been proven why it's such an important factor to remove so early on. Especially to see how many rounds are going into the favor of both teams right now. Once again, we are tied at 3-3. I'm pretty sure we'll have another overtime match in our current game.
Yeah, 3-3. Now we finally get to see if PYK are able to utilize their attacking strengths. How good that we saw in on map 1. They were able to communicate, attack very smoothly, attack very well, pick out all of the Phoenix players. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep this going and get this match up. But 3-on-3, it's been so close every single game.
And once again, it's no deciding factor is actually we will run away with the game. Being the third map, both teams are still really comfortable with the map. They do play this map on the daily in the ranked scene. Of course, a lot of the ranked competitive scenes are the same as the ranked that you can expect when they try to increase their MMR. Of course, with the new season coming past, all 1 and 2 to 10 placements, and they go as far as they can to represent. And of course, having the face-it games that have been taking place allows the opportunity for these players to continue grinding, getting those hours in on a competitive level.
Very similar lineups coming out from the teams as they change, uh, I guess, positions. Nuno bringing out the Thermite. It looks like they're might having to. I mean, Cloud's going to be the roamer here for Phoenix, trying to utilize what Ricky was doing to them in the previous rounds here with 2 minutes 45 seconds on the clock. We see the first shots coming out by Cloud, getting some beautiful shots onto Sweet. I don't even think Sweet even knew that was coming. So great start here of the changeover for Phoenix.
Right now, it's just the complete opposite what we saw for the past couple rounds. Well, usually one of the Phoenix players will be taken down. Drone work still coming in, holding the Raj, an extremely important, honestly, an area to secure a victory. Probably one of the easiest sides to hold on the map. As you can see, the CCTV side. Let me correct myself there. The archive side of things, very difficult to hold, having so many openings, allowing the players to open up from above and from the sides. Two of the Team PYK players have been taken down, currently in favor of Team Phoenix. Getting a 5v3 situation. Yes, a few of the players are heavily taken themselves, but from there, moving their way down towards Garage, working together, clearing up top floor, making their way slowly down. As you see, Ash being played by Joystick jumping in, going to be found out by the Clouds, who's currently playing Vigil. Cannot connect his shots. Ash is very aware where he is. Using the table, she's Martin. She gets pre-fired by the Ash. Very interesting play, making use of all these little cubicles to their advantage. Ricky not too far behind in support to, of course, supporting the Ash in order to take down one of the defenders. We were playing by Cloud. The Vigil being an extremely important factor. They don't only need to get kills to buy time. Nuno currently playing the Therma, waiting for his team to open up the garage doors, allowing them to place on their Therma charges, and then from there, make their way towards start.
Yeah, great play there by the Vigil. There's a minute left on the round, and it's only now that they can now start looking to push down onto sites. Absolutely great time utilization done here by Phoenix. We're now setting up for the final push here, getting ready by PYK.
Right now, holding very tight angles, trying to find any of the defenders on the rotate. Of course, we've got a few players already roaming around, trying to find any opportunities they can to win it back. Arky trying to shoot the camera down below, trying to actually base it out of Ultrasoul, which could be a major victory for them. Of course, open up all the different hatches, allowing them to enter down to the bottom floor without risking peeking already pre-made spots that the players are basically holding towards the actual stairs. Of course, being towards yellow and the main stairs. Right now, we're making slowly but surely, helping one another. As you can see, the Joystick coming in, taking on Swag, bringing it back to a 3v3 situation, pushing together, holding on the player is Noxy, ensure that no one comes past, does take down Joystick. Flashbangs coming in, as we can see, shots are still being traded. Beautiful rotate hole. Ricky has been taken down, 1v2 situation comes by as Nuno takes on Electrical. And of course, defenders win around with playing time. Only a couple of milliseconds left before Diffuser could even get onto side, let alone get Diffuser down.
And that all goes back to the Vigil, who was able to waste so much time upstairs that by the time PYK had gotten downstairs, gotten ready to go push to the final push, the defenders had to just slightly inconvenience them, and the time just ran out. So really great play there by Clout on the roam.
Really interesting to see exactly how everything is coming into effect. Once again, we have Cloud going back to the Vigil, using his roots, what played really well, what almost won them around that game. Faking out the polls, honestly, will be a big surprise, if not expected, by the opposing players. Nuno's doing the same thing, going from Thermite to a random operator. Kudu, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second time we've seen a random op. Either that, or it's a mistake by the game. As you can see, we went back to Thermite. Yes, it was a mistake from the console side of things, but at least he has the Thermite. I mean, changing from honestly a hard breacher to a random operator is a big gamble, especially seeing how important it is towards specific sites.
Yeah, I think almost every single site here you can really utilize a Thermite or even a Habana. So yeah, definitely an important operator. Kind of important to say that Phoenix had a great defense that round. They didn't really seem too shaken by the PYK attack, and that being their first defensive round, taking it away from PYK, I think it puts him in a good spot here.
Once again, going back to the top floor, holding it out. First time for them to actually defend top floor, to show the opposing team what they are made of. Going back to, of course, considered office and B team room. Very important rooms, of course, having in between the waiting room. Additional room the attacking side must worry about. And in between all of that, they still have different rooms such as the bathroom itself and the console front desk. Let alone the hallway where the two counters are leading the way towards the admin office. Quite an interesting choice exactly for the attackers, how they'll go back on about it. We did see the thermite last time around, jump straight through admin office, from there head towards south. Can we see another aggressive push, of course helping one another. Vigil has been heavily tagged towards garage side, hit for 52 of his HP.
We see the castle busy prepping the window there. That's for if the plant goes down, they can quickly get back in there and get, or at least try and retake site. The Vigil opening up garage to try and put a little bit of pressure onto this IQ, but the IQ Ricky peeking around and cleaning out Cloud. A great use of all devices there, but really great to see him getting rid of Cloud super early in the round. Something that they weren't able to do last round. Sweet, beautiful shots onto Noxy, putting them in a 3v5 situation. It's looking very good for PYK here.
As you did say, the 5v3 situation still very much winnable. We've seen how Phoenix have came back from the situation, picking off the players as individuals. Two players coming towards consulate office side. Of course, we're making use of the skylights and all the different possibilities through the cabinet wall. They can see Thermite hopping in, gonna throw down some flashbangs, getting countered by the ADS system. You do hear Thermite across the map being placed. He gets blinded himself, jumping straight onto the side. The castle trick happening, and of course, you get the trade by the opposing player, and of course, the attackers win round 8. What an amazing play by the attackers, of course, having a player down in this entire, of course, attack. Look at this amount of play. Brilliant flex between the castle towards the Valkyrie. Really well played. Cannot wish for a better round, for a better clutch by the opposing team.
Yeah, these two teams really just neck and neck right now. Being the third map for them, they're both just fighting to get into the final, and neither team are giving out or even giving an inch to either one of their opposers. Sitting 4-4 going into round 9. I still have absolutely no idea who's going to win this game, because one round it's one team is dominant, next round the next team is dominant.
Seen on the first map win, I'm pretty sure it was around 7-4, 7-5. Second map definitely 7-4. Interesting to see how initially there was quite a bit of a massive leeway. Doesn't round of having without any difficulties, bring it back how close it is. At this stage, no rehost being called, some vigils, of course, impacts you on in, making some rotates, covering up whatever you can in order to protect the players on A from Skylight side, from any pre-fires that might come their way. Meraki as well doing the same, making sure the top consular office is protected as time around, because the attackers, of course, really did steamroll through that one, coming in from different angles. We had a player from Boston, one player from White Stairs, one player going straight through consular office, making his play. Yes, the castle trick did come through, very impressive, good tactic, but honestly a brilliant vision from the initial player. Going into straight down panic. Can we expect something similar with the whole castle trick in? We do see a Marshall this time around, of course, having an LMG in hand, and such a crucial role what he did play previously. He did get a kill as well with his evil eyes.
Great setup here by the castle. Not just using his castles, but opening up all these different rotates. That obviously has been very strategized and thought out. The small rotate there into B. I guess I've never seen a setup like this before on this site, and I mean it looks great. It's definitely something I want to try.
Once again, just heading ready, having the 30 seconds go down, using the training opportunities as much as they can, making their way towards side, ensuring that spiral is clear, allowing his teammate go straight down, watching him right at the bottom, having ready, have the main floor control. From there, going to work their way up towards side, which they have done beautifully before. Ready, unifying towards the end there, picking off the Roma so early on, big blow towards Phoenix side. Ready once again, Phoenix of course holding out as long as they can, ready at the 2-minute mark and still counting.
Once again, that prep being done by Pana, as you know, Kiko gets a little bit tagged up there, going down to just over 90 health. PYK just really just trying to gather some information here before they start their push. I don't think they really know how to go about this. Clout not on the roam this time, but closer to site. Instead, we see the roam coming out by Swaka. Misses the shots off onto the Ash, who peeks around wide, and the refrags coming out there by Noxy.
As you can see, as once you are prone, it's difficult to maneuver around. But as I say, that Nuno coming in, taking out Noxy, getting that trade. We did, of course, take down the Vigil. Ready well played, Beacon ready well, but exposing himself during the whole process. Once again, we can see the players moving towards side, having a castle ready to do the castle trick once again. Taking out Kiko, who is playing by Sophia, ready to jump through.
Sitting in a 4v3 situation with 48 seconds left on the clock. PYK are really going to have to try and get some map control here. They're still trying to enter the building. As I say that, they start swinging on in. The shots are being fired. Cloud loses 50% of his health as he takes out Kiko, leaving them in a 2v3 situation, and the diffuser is going down by Nuno, who just fakes plants. Sweet gets taken out by Electro, bringing it back down to a 2v2. Nuno not sure how to get this diffuser down with the Maestro. The Maestro finally gets Nuno down, and they end up taking it back. Phoenix winning the round. A very important round for Phoenix right there.
Right now, Phoenix can secure 2 more rounds. They, of course, will take the third map, already winning one, previously winning the second map. Of course, Team PYK so far out of it, winning map 1, which of course was Phoenix pick. Really tight games coming out. On the defending side of things, we're going straight back to Garage, which has seemed to be undefeated at this point between the two teams. Let's see how Team PYK has the opportunity to go through, attack Garage, and of course Guerrilla Cade on the Garage, or even the Bandits having both electrifying operators to prevent access straight to the Garage and the hatches. We do have a switch from Valkyrie towards Vigil. From Cloud, who has been in a situation before, playing on the 3rd floor, honestly removing as many players as he can before the initial fight towards the end.
You know, it's funny how I think this is the second round now that they've 6-pick onto Vigil. You would think that it's almost just a guarantee now. They're just like, yep, they're probably going to bring a Vigil. It just seems to be what Klaus loves to use when on the roam. Although we saw on the roam earlier, they decided to switch it up a little bit. Swak taking control of that roam and getting some great utilization. I mean, not getting the kill onto the Ash, but allowing his teammate to get into a position, Noxy getting those final shots onto the Ash.
Right now, this will be an important factor, of course, for Team PYK to bring back, but Phoenix, if they can secure this, need one more round, having a 2-round victory beforehand, giving that start advantage, having that confidence behind them to continue pushing forward. As we can see all the attackers spawning towards Garage side, moving in as a single unit. As well, not actually having anybody who can eliminate this Garage wall, as Thatcher was banned previously. A Twitch not been selected, so they have to either push towards yellow stairs, peek ready wide, and hope for the best that they don't get shot up by any player hiding behind the van. So you can see the electrifying coming past. We do have the RQ playing from above, trying to shoot through the floor once again. We actually previously tried to get a play behind van and baited out, and now just already played from that side. We can, honestly, the vision between these players, you see the visual coming out from the top there, watching the main lobby hatch. As you can see, Sweet worrying about the player running out towards that balcony for any possibility to prevent a player entering from start.
Looks like Kiko's going on the hunt there as they try and look for Cloud, but Cloud is playing around here, running around the map, trying to not get bogged down. He's already rotated all the way back downstairs as they still are droning for him upstairs, and Kiko's still looking for him up there.
Right now, shots coming through. Cloud does indeed take down Joystick. We previously played on Spiral before. As you can see, using the same spots over and over did not, of course, work in a favor. Really unfortunate there by the Ash. Cloud playing really well above main lobby hatch. Ready, we have Ricky, who's ready to get the trade back with the Sophia, holding down the player within bottom. getting pre-fired through the wall. Kiko peeking the wrong way, gets taken down by Cloud once again. Cloud has done more than enough in the situation. Of course, already been pre-fired through the wall. Not too sure exactly what the situation is. Once again, a Ying gets taken out of Pan, the support from the teammates. At this stage, Phoenix has pretty much secured the rump, leaving it in a 2v5 situation. Sweet try to get his action with a player within Bathroom, try to eliminate that threat. Cloud pre-firing around the corner. Unfortunately, it cannot connect. Moving possessions being secured from Piano's side. Ready, well played. Sees all the different rotate. Sweet at this stage hits the own Nomad, being faked out by the bandit. I've never seen a defender make use of a Nomad jab like that in my life. Use it against the Nomad itself. Ready, well played. Leaving it a 1v4 situation while Nuno brings back some shots, takes down Noxy. Currently 1v4 situation, the third mat still outside. Bringing it back, Nuno currently on a 2k with the fuser in hand, knowing the play is above in Bathrooms. The average player is not too sure exactly where. Having this key information is key, but at this stage you can go for the plants at the fuse and try to take a chance. But Cloud, once again, coming in, finishing what he has started with a 3k, taking out Nuno.
Clouds had an absolute massive round, playing like an animal there in Bathroom. They could not get him out. He just kept rotating. Once he had rotated into Bathroom, they had two players push him at once. Yet they were still not able to get him out of there. He then, by the time they were pushing too much onto him, he had his teammates rotate around and support him. Incredible gameplay coming out here by Phoenix, and that puts them onto match points. It's now do or die for PYK as they try and take these rounds away from Phoenix and get themselves into the final.
Really, really well played. This is all they have to do. Keep doing what they have doing before. Of course, winning the two previous rounds back to back. If they go back to the top floor, because they can't obviously replay the second back-to-back map, which wasn't in Garage, go back to the top floor where they have won previously and do the same thing. Just hold back Team Peak as much as you can. Get those early frags and, of course, win it for the team.
We see very similar lineups coming out here by all these teams. Cloud brings a Legion instead of bringing the Visual once again. It does look like, I mean, this is going to be a hard side for them to defend. It's definitely not an easy one, but they have a 2-round advantage now over PYK, which is going to settle a lot of nerves.
Right now, heading straight into the match points. Reinforcing every little bit that they still can. Getting the prep phase ready. As you can see, a beautiful angle with Noxy coming into play. Try to catch a player off guard, faking it out, pulling his way. Of course, killing a player off the first 2 seconds is, of course, punishable. But of course, the organizers itself. Once again, we have Electro playing by Marshall this time, playing in Bathroom, having that whole bigger magazine to work over Cloud. Already taking on Sweet, giving a massive disadvantage. Already trying to beat the team at the underdogs at this point, try to win the next 3 rounds and win the game. Ricky going straight up to Scarlet, obviously trying to find any person, try to rotate around. As he does spot one player on what says, which is Swak, currently below 50 HP. Fortunately, pulls away, obviously playing a lot safer. Here comes a drone, is obviously being in play, not faking it out. Swak playing back on the main floor, going down towards Garage side, trying to go back towards Spiral, most probably to support his team in the later fight.
It's going to be a big shock here for PYK as they go in 4v5 with 2 minutes left of the round. This is really a do or die for them here as Nuno jumps in and he's being droned in by the IQ here, Joystick. They're taking control of top floor here, trying to get rid of these roamers before they start pushing down onto sites. We've known that, you know, throughout this matchup, Phoenix have been super heavy roamers, especially with their utilization of Swak and Clout, their 2 main roamers. We see Pano rotating down here as the Nomad falls, putting it into a 3v5. Phoenix looking very, very good here on match point.
Phoenix obviously having 2 options here, playing down time or going for the kills. obviously just holding side is all they need to do. Nuno being pretty far from behind. Nuno coming in with an insane 360 spray against Panda, getting a trade, and an actual thing that, of course, opposing player could not do. Bringing it back to a 3v4 situation, bringing it back, making it very possible to win. Still 60 seconds remaining and still counting. Meraki currently on yellow stairs, trying to peek on side, having two players looking his way. Currently one on piano with a very insane angle. Does get spotted out. Drone works all honestly the saving factor for all players in the team. As you see a drone coming in, trying to spot all the other remaining players if they are on sides or not.
As we say that, Swak finishes it out by taking out Ricky, one of the main fraggers on the side. Shots coming out, extremely aggressive gameplay by the IQ, but gets punished by Electro. Nuno finishes it out by taking out Noxy. Nuno left in a 1v2 situation as his teammate disconnects.
Of course, we'd already been taken out previously. It's up to Nuno in a situation to win it back for the team. And there you go. Phoenix has taken map 3, winning it, going straight into the finals. Really well played by both teams. Of course, pushing through until the very end. Really going down to honestly the nail of each game. Really tight games throughout everything. Once again, we have our second game now, 7-4, 7-3 earlier. Really well played. I mean, quite an interesting turn of events. We saw Phoenix's first map, of course, which was Theme Park, being won by Team PYK. Second time around, map 2 being chosen by, of course, Team PYK, which was Vela, being won by Phoenix. Map 3 being constantly finally taken over by Team Phoenix. Really, really well played by both sides. And I think it was honestly an amazing game to watch. I was super excited to be part of it. And of course, could you have anything to add on to that point?
You know, great plays there by a lot of those players. We were constantly mentioning, Sweet. We were constantly mentioning Clout. Just great players. You guys, I think, they've all trained extremely hard to get up to into the semifinals. Massive congrats to Phoenix to make that move. Unlucky to, or I guess not unlucky, but unfortunate to PYK. That is the end of this tournament for them. But really great run. It gave us a great game here to watch, and just thank you to everyone that tuned in to support these players and support this channel. We really do appreciate you guys all coming in here. Make sure you do follow Team Meraki here on Twitch to be caught up with all the games coming up. We've got some incredible games later on today, as well as the finals tomorrow.
Once again, I think without further ado, make sure you tune in later tonight around 8 o'clock because of the delay, of course, having this game being really close. We start at 8 o'clock with the PC semi-finals against two big names, two very strong teams, and we can't wait to see what they have in sort of, especially after yesterday's amazing performance. I think, right as well, I think let's leave it there and we'll catch you guys later in the next 30 minutes for the next game. Once again, thank you from my side, and I look forward to chat to you guys later.
See you soon. Bye.